Kenny, 7 touchdowns in 5 games. So you're on pace to break my single-season touchdown record. Slow it down, Kenny, because you know me. I'll come out of retirement. You know I will. What?
What are you doing?
What? Nothing.
What was that?
Milton's nemesis, Kenny Lawler. Already with 7 TD receptions. The record, by the way, for Hamilton for TDs in a season 15. That was Tony Champion back in 1989. Kenny, he's got 58 straight games with the reception. Sticking with the receivers, Geno Lewis coming off a really nice game. 7 catches, 128 yards. Coming off his 19th career 100-plus game as well. It is all about the receivers tonight. Kate Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stegall as we wrap up week number 7 in the CFL. And this is a monster game, and not just for Hamilton. We've seen how great Kenny Lawler and Bo Levi Mitchell have been, but for the Ottawa RedBlacks as well. They cannot drop to 1-6, but it feels like they have a little bit of business tonight, Enoch.
They absolutely do, Kate. And you look at this team, they've been putting up some great numbers as well, especially Drew Brown when he comes in, when he's playing. He's throwing the rock really well. He's taking care of it. He's had 73% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns already. But I feel like tonight he's going against Bo Levi Mitchell. You know Bo's going to throw it to Kenny Milt. Is Drew Brown going to feel the pressure to try and match that firepower? And I hope that he's going to be able to play within his system.
For me, if I'm head coach Bobby Dice, I'm going to be blunt with these players. I would tell them before the game, guys, we're 1-5. We have a bye next week. We lose this game, some of you guys will be going home. You'll be getting by. You won't be coming back. That's the pressure that should be put on this team, because they lose this, their chances of making the playoffs are basically none. So this is a must-win for these RedBlacks.
I love that you said that, because I was thinking the same thing in regards to the importance of this game and what it means. There's no need to sugarcoat it.
No,
right now, for this Ottawa RedBlacks team, they have to get a win tonight. You're right. To get buried that much, the East is still up there, but to get buried at this point in time, that'll be a major issue. I think they come out and play inspired football, and I think Bobby Dice, I agree. I think Bobby come out and be honest with him. Here's where we're at.
And I know we poke fun at it, but this race between you and Kenny Lawler is quite fun at this point. Here it comes. So Kenny leads the CFL in both receiving yards and receiving touchdowns this season. As Milt alluded to at the beginning of the show, he's on pace for 25 touchdowns this season, which would set a new record. Milt holds it with 23. Lawler has got 4 touchdowns in 3 previous games against the RedBlacks. We'll see what he can do tonight. Kickoff from Ottawa with Lapo and Rod Smith coming up next.
On a beautiful summer Sunday night, Kate Burness, thank you. It's the rematch, part 2 of the home-and-home series between the RedBlacks and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who never led in that game at home last week, but pulled it out in the end. A lot of talk, Lapo, about the combination of Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler, rightfully so, but Hamilton's defense was really strong in that game, namely Jamal Peters for the picks he had.
Jamal Peters had 2 interceptions in the second half. One of them a crucial one in the fourth quarter. High point in those interceptions. Leads the Canadian Football League with 3 interceptions. Speaking of big play players, Khalil Pimpleton, combined yardage leader for the RedBlacks. He had a 105-yard PR punt return last week, called back because penalty. He'll be doing double duty this week.
Well, Lapo, you heard the studio talk about the pressure on Bob Dice now after a 1-5 start. A couple of losses since they got their lone victory in Calgary. Scott Milanovich, with the victory over Ottawa last week, has his team over 500 for the first time since November of 2021. And his Ticats won the toss, and they want the ball as well. leads the CFL in kick return touchdowns. He has 2. No player's ever had 3 in a season, and that being Isaiah Wooden, and he's back there, as you saw, with number 6, Jonathan Moxey. We are a third of the way through the CFL regular season with the end of Week 7 beginning now. TD plays in Ottawa. Glad you can join us here. The CFL on TSN. Wooden has it, and he takes a big pop. Great tackle coming downfield for the RedBlacks, and Les Maruo inserted into the lineup for Ottawa tonight.
Nice. Levi Mitchell, spectacular. We expect him to finish in the top 10 this week when he gets his opportunity to start this niche just a couple of yards to move up into that top 10 spot. The best thing about him, no interceptions. He's doing a great job. 11 TDs, only 1 interception. He's been spectacular on that. I know that's what Scott Milanovic talked so much about. If you remember last season, Rod, they weren't happy with he was making bad decisions with the football. They benched him and said, hey, listen, you got to take some time off to take a look that you cannot make these difficult throws. Tierra Powell gets injured, gets back in. I think he's listened to his head coach, Rod.
You saw, as you look at both, they saw the injured Tycat, and that is their starting field side corner, and Jonathan Moxey on special teams as well. And here's how he got injured. Now, the big tackle by Les Maruo as well on Isaiah Wooden.
Les Maruo was originally a draft pick of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a global player, spectacular. You know, this is what you want. A guy who can run, make tackles in space. I've always enjoyed watching this player as a special teams player. High energy. Texas San Antonio, 4th-year player.
So Moxey heads off. The offense on the field. Bo Levi Mitchell, as Lapo alluded to, 27 yards away from moving into the top 10 all-time of the CFL passing list, just behind Tracy Ham. Krishawn Ward is the running back, and he will get the ball, too, in that short pass. And Ward, the injury to Greg Bell in the lineup the last couple of weeks, gets up to the 40, and a 2nd and short coming up.
Big Liam Dobson at 312 pounds, free agent from Winnipeg last season, getting better every week, and he brings physicality to this unit. And we talked about Kenny Lawler. You heard him talk 7 TDs in 5 games. He's got 58 games with a catch, 4th best in the Canadian Football League for consecutive catches.
8-yard gain by Ward. There's a look at Kenny Lawler, and it's Johnny Augustine in at running back now for the Ticats on this 2nd down and short. Bo Levi Mitchell. And handing off, looking for those 2 yards from Augustine. If he gets it, he didn't get it by much. Needed to get to the 42 of the Ticats, and good work up front defensively by the Ottawa RedBlacks for a short gain.
Should push this to a 2nd and 1 situation, which you would expect them to continue to go with the football. Augustine takes us downhill, but really good push at the line of scrimmage. You see Lorenzo Malden getting in there to help make the stop. Good penetration by Malden there.
He got about half of it, Paul, and so it is a 3rd and 1 coming up as the offense stays out there. Some bigger bodies coming on now for short yardage for the Tiger Cats. Short yardage quarterback, number 34, Antti Litre. Used to play here in Ottawa. Handles these situations. And he goes left. He gets a bunch more. The big fullback, Litre. Ball comes out. Looks like the Ticats get it back as he was fighting for more. And a good break for Hamilton. Jacob Zott, another former Ottawa RedBlack, the team that drafted him, now with the Ticats. He falls on it after the fumble by Litre after an easy 1st down on the run by 34 as the drive continues.
Good vision by Litre. He goes all the way. You're going to see him go to your left here, and they just don't have any players on the outside edge. Going to easily get you around the defense. You like these wider wedges because that's where all the smaller players are, Rod. Get away from all those big guys. Go to the defensive backs. Litre's the Swiss Army knife of this offense.
There we go. 1st and 10. Back to Augustine. Finds some room. Turns it left. And he gets across midfield. He is tackled there by the starter in the corner, Elijah McGee, with all the injuries in the secondary for the RedBlacks.
Bryce Carter leads this defensive line with 18 defensive plays, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Good effort football player. Lucas Cormier is going to get the start. 3rd-year player from Mount Allison, 10th overall pick, very physical. Defensive back moves to receiver, and Elijah McGee draws in to cover Kenny Lawler with C.J. Colton injured. 3 interceptions last season.
He's on one corner, and DeAndre Lamont on the other, making his season debut. Had a hamstring injury he was battling through. So the handoff to Augustine again, and he just gets That's enough for the first down. The drive will continue on the ground, getting it closer to the Red Black 50 on this opening possession on this Sunday night in Ottawa for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Ottawa's they've done a very good job working to stop the run this season. One of the things they've done a very good job is taking the football away defensively. It's going to be something important to do tonight to get the win over these Ticats.
First and 10 right at the Red Black 50 now. Mitchell completes that pass to Tim White. And he gets about 6 more yards. That's inside the Ottawa 45. As I said, we are keeping an eye on the passing totals of Mitchell. 27 yards away coming in, going into the top 10.
Mitchell recognizes on the outside. The corner goes high. I'm going to throw the ball on the outside, get the ball in a rhythm throw outside to Tim White. Man coverage, easy throw and catch. Get the ball in space to Tim White for a nice catch.
So he's got that pickup. Said a gain of 6. Mitchell 2 for 2 for 14 yards, so 13 yards away from passing Tracy Ham. Expecting it to happen this quarter. It's Lorenzo Malden, the injured player of the Ottawa RedBlacks, back around midfield and getting some attention there from the medical staff of the RedBlacks.
You know, I want to talk about, like I talked about the top with Bo. You know, Scott did make that change, you know, with Bo, give him some breathing room at the end of the year. They also made a change at defensive coordinator last season, and they didn't feel they got enough takeaways. Now what's happening? Bo Levi Mitchell's protecting the football, and basically this defense for Hamilton is tied for first in takeaways. There's 4 different teams tied, but I think they're doing what Scott Milanovic wants to do: protect the football and take the football away on defense. That's why they've won that's why they're getting to the winning ways in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, as a team +5 in the turnover ratio, and they won that battle 4-1 in their victory over the RedBlacks last week in Hamilton. So here we go in a 2nd and 4 from Mitchell. Opening drive of this game. Handing off, finding room. Through that hole goes Augustine. First down and more, and Robert Priester started to throw him down, but Augustine got even more. He got down inside the Red Black 20, and another first down for the Tiger Cats.
Extra players coming off the edge leave only 1 player in the 2nd level, and when that happens, you can pop runs. As you see the 2 blitzers off the edge, there's nobody on the 2nd level, so Augustine can hit it up inside. You live and die by the blitz sometimes. When you bring perimeter pressure, you can hit it up inside. Great run by Augustine. Great execution by the Ticats O-line.
He got 23 there. He already has more than he had last week on the ground against Ottawa. He had 29 then. And back to the ground they go. It's Augustine again. He spins, but not much there as he just works it again down to, well, around the 20. Picks up another couple of yards for the Ticats. 2nd and long coming up.
See a lot change in personnel here. The Ticats go no huddle right here. They're just trying to, usually on 2nd and long, you'll see Hamilton go no huddle. They're going to go faster, call it at the line of scrimmage, so they can slow down and actually look at the defense and see what the defense is in, see if they can change the play.
Red zone Ticats, very effective when they get to this point on the field. And Mitchell wants to throw it. He has time. Into the end zone, he looks! No, Keandre Smith might have had a shot at it, but had to worry about staying in bounds as well, and that falls to the turf. And so we have a 3rd down coming up and a field goal try for the Tiger Cats.
Best thing about one of the best things Bo Levi Mitchell does always is usually when he's scrambling and going to look, he's looking downfield. He finds Keandre Smith in the back of the end zone. This is the difficult part for a receiver. You're trying to keep your feet in bounds, have high hands, and still have the concentration to make the catch. Keandre Smith just couldn't make that catch while he's trying to keep his feet in bounds.
And another injured player from the defensive line of the Ottawa RedBlacks. Earlier, it was Lorenzo Malden, and now it's the veteran tackle Cleon Lang. And an obvious discomfort down on the field, and this 3rd down with the special teams play coming up. So not sure about Lorenzo Malden's status right now, and Lang still down on the turf. Have a look at what happened here, Paul.
If you look down here, I believe that's where the action is. I think he gets rolled up on. You see Cleon right there as he goes down. Yeah, he's got his foot in the ground, and then he roll over his knee. Hopefully Cleon's good. 11-year veteran. I enjoyed working with him. Worked with him here in Ottawa, Rod. Just a great. He was excellent in the meeting rooms. He was great. He was a great leader to young football players. As a veteran player, he had high energy, and he certainly competed on a week-to-week basis.
And originally from Edmonton, but had a lot of time with the Toronto Argonauts and the RedBlacks. In fact, he joined Ottawa the first time around in 2015. And 2017 on this very field. In fact, he made a huge play forcing a fumble in the Stampeders that led to a return for a touchdown that helped them beat the Stamps that year in 2017. And Mark Leggio, he has made 27 in a row, longest active streak among kickers, and Leggio became the all-time leader in that department with the Tiger Cats last week when he hit his 25th straight. He went 3 for 3. Leggio, this a 28-yard try to put the Ticats on the board first here early in this one in Ottawa. Nick Constantino with the hold and the snap from Gordon White. Leggio to keep the streak going. 28 straight for Mark Leggio, and the lead for the Ticats on their first possession. Under 9 minutes to go. Still haven't seen that red-black offense. We will now with Drew Brown, who's about to start his 4th game of the season. Drew Brown missed 3 starts because of a hip injury that he suffered on opening day, but still, Lapo, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards in the 3 starts he's made.
283 yards, 63% completion last week, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Now, when a quarterback throws interception, you're always evaluating what they were. He had 2 underthrown balls. You don't like that, but you like him taking the one-on-one matchups outside to Eugene Lewis. He didn't make bad decisions. He just didn't locate the football. He's got to make sure he continues to do that tonight.
First possession, RedBlacks, and on first down, faking the handoff to Ottawa, and then Jonathan Moxey, who seems just fine. He was hurt earlier in on that coverage of Khalil Pimpleton. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Parker Moore gets his 2nd start this season. The right guard 2 weeks ago started to tackle, looked very excellent for this RedBlacks offensive line. Eugene Lewis, 128 yards last week, leads the CFL with 14 receptions for 2nd down conversions.
We got a challenge flag coming out on that coverage by Moxey. Bob Dice thinking he got there a little bit early on Khalil Pimpleton on that pass attempt by Drew Brown. The veteran Moxey, 2nd year with Hamilton after starting his career with the Calgary Stampeders.
Ottawa is challenging that there should have been pass interference on the previous play. The play will be reviewed.
As Drew Brown pulls this ball outside on the perimeter, we'll see if there's any early contact, and that's what they're looking for. Now, a couple of things command center's going to do. They're not going to slow this down. They talked about defensive pass interference. It's got to be clear and obvious. You've got to be able to, we don't want to try to slow down angles and try to coach from the command center or coach the officials. But if it's clear and obvious and early contact, this should get a call.
Bob Dyson even 50%, 15 to 30 on his challenges, and this one comes very early in the game on their opening drive. And what like had a chance to be a completion to Khalil Pimpleton before Moxey broke it up. Bob Dice's 3rd full season as the head coach of the RedBlacks.
You know, last week, Rod, there were some critical errors in the 4th quarter. We interviewed Bob Dyson. He talked about it. You know, they had a punt return penalty that took a TD off the board. They had an interception in the 4th quarter. They had a fumble in a punt return in the 4th quarter. And they had a crucial roughing the passer penalty. Mike Wakefield took one that basically Ottawa was off the field.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field is overturned. We have pass interference. Hamilton, number 6. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty and automatic first down for Ottawa.
Yeah, there's a roughing the passer penalty that led to that last Hamilton touchdown. So, you know, I think for Ottawa, they just got to eliminate the critical errors. They had this game. They scored the last play of the 3rd quarter, had a decent lead, but they just got to eliminate the critical errors.
To make that 16 out of 31 successful challenges for Bob Dice as this continues now at a 1st and 10 at the Ottawa 50. Call of return. Play action fake, throwing off, short one to the right to Justin Hardy. And he is tackled by Jamal Peters, who picked off Brown twice last week in Hamilton.
Miles Fox is listed as a starter, but I'm putting Mario Kendricks in here because leads the team with 4 sacks as a rotational starter. Stubblefield, Reggie, it was worth the wait. 7 defensive tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass breakdown in his first game as a Ticat. Jonathan Moxey added 2 interceptions from his corner position. This team that's tied for first in takeaways.
Saw Brent Monson in the first year as a defensive coordinator coming over from the Calgary Stampeders. Throwing, Brown, and that one, good coverage there by the Ticats. That one attempted for Andre Miller, and Ray Wilborn, the weak side linebacker, in on that play.
Very interesting. Wilborn, very athletic for a linebacker to have to cover out on and make plays on these plays. This is a man coverage play as they're going down. Wilborn plays the high player as they have a half-field player. He's coming up trying to help out as they play their 2-deep man under coverage.
The punt from Richie Leone, and places that one. And remember, if it goes out of bounds in the air, it has to be inside the 15-yard line, which it was. So a good job by Leone. And a flag is on the field, but it is back close to midfield. Getting ready for Bo Levi Mitchell, and the Ticats offense back on. Hamilton with a 3-0 lead. Scott Milanovic and the Ticats have the lead, but pushed back further. It was a holding penalty on Tyler Ternowski-Lapo that has them start this drive back at their own 5-yard line.
Those holding penalties, not only that you lose yardage just because they're going to back you up, but if you did have a big return, it's going to take that return off the yardage. One of the worst penalties you can take on your punt return team.
Bo Levi Mitchell 2 for 3 for 14 yards, 13 yards shy of passing Tracy Ham, and moving into the top 10 all time in CFL passing yardage. Starting in a hole here, standing at his goal line, taking the handoff and a quick throw. No, off the fingertips of Kenny Lawler. Gives Lawler a target. His #1 receiver, #1 in the Canadian Football League, but not a catch there. And there are lots of RedBlacks right around him as that falls incomplete.
Robert Priester is the high halfback over here, so Bo tries to snake it in there, but watch Priester's right there. Kenny can feel that pressure, so you had kind of 2 players over in that situation. Bo's trying to trust his big guy to make the play.
Rashawn Ward in at running back. 2nd down and 10 now. Ticats pin deep. Mitchell from the end zone. Off to the right. No! Keandre Smith, it fluttered in. Darius Pickett was there. Had a shot at it, but it's incomplete, and the Ticats will have to punt it away from their end zone.
A corner route with 2 unders. As those 2 corners run underneath, it's a 1-on-1 on the outside. You roll it now, guys. But Darius Pickett, excellent. He spins, runs underneath, goes to make a play. The ball is caught, but Pickett put his hands through the catch. And that's what you do as a defensive back. You're taught to go right through the catch, knock the ball out. Special play by Darius Pickett.
Good play by Pickett on Keandre Smith there. So punting from the end zone, Nick Constantino, the left footer. And down here for Khalil Pimpleton at the Ottawa 50, midfield, 50, 45, and down around the 40 there as the flag has come out, and that return by Khalil Pimpleton. 56-yard punt by the Aussie Constantino.
We'll continue to see Pimpleton, Rod, play receiver and also do some punt returns. And again, like, he's so explosive as a football player. You're going to want to get him as many touches as you can, whether it be a screen pass, other plays. But, just monitor how he does. Take him out for a play or 2 after the punt return, and then then get him back in.
While the ball was in the air, holding Ottawa #21. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be 1st down for Ottawa.
That's Justin Howell, who's back in the Red-Black lineup for the first time in this season.
Yeah, you can see him right there grabbing on and holding. And Cole right there. Yeah, Justin Howell been injured, but back in the lineup as a reserve safety. And you can see how the teams will try to use their secondary punt returner, or their receiver, and then a secondary punt returner. Is Pimpleton take a little bit of breather, then get him right back in.
So it's a 1st and 10. Ottawa RedBlacks trailing 3-0. 2nd possession. William Stanback in at running back beside Drew Brown. Faking to Stanback and throwing, intercepted. Picked off. Ticats defense. Stavros Katsantonis Thomas, the safety, jumping in front and taking it away. And it's the third time in these two games against the Ticats that Brown has been picked off. And turnover advantage again going to the black and gold.
Stavros is going to be right here. You're going to get a slant. He recognizes it, and he undercuts the play as you watch. He drives it. Drew can't see it. Great recognition by Stavros. Great bounce, great push underneath to make that play on the interception. Stavros reading the quarterback's eyes on the run-pass option and making a great drive on the football.
Second interception of the season for Stavros Katsantonis, the Bakersfield Bandit. That was intended for Justin Hardy, and it really flips the field as well. The Ticats had been deep in their zone. After that pick, they will start this drive at the 46 of the RedBlacks.
And we talked about on the top show, Brent Munson, defensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is a team that has gotten better and better at takeaways. Taken a while for his defense start to gel. They were tied for first with 13 takeaways. There's their 14th this week. And their opponent...
Timer, please reset the clock to 6:03, please. 6:03.
First in the Canadian Football League in a lot of things. What does this Ticat defense do? Ticats don't allow a lot of big plays passing. They don't allow you to throw the ball very well. And another great play here by this Ticat defense, getting better and better every week in the secondary.
Katsantonis, the interception. Goalie by Mitchell. Gets it off to the left. That one caught by Keandre Smith, who gets it down to the 41. Second down coming up. Keandre Smith with 5 yards. His 4th season at the University of Guelph.
I like what Scott Milanovic does here. He plays with a lot of tight ends, plays with a lot of different things, a lot of balls behind the line of scrimmage, high completion percentage for Bo. Mixes in a deep shot now and then again, but he's trying to get high percentage throws for Bo Levi Mitchell.
2nd and 5 now. Another 5 yards in the passing total. Well, this would certainly get him to the top 10. Touchdown, you know who? Kenny Lawler. He does it again. That's his 8th touchdown catch this year, and for Bo Levi Mitchell, that puts him into the top 10 all-time in CFL passing yardage, Lapo. Kind of fitting that that's who the target is to put him over the top.
We talked about it this week with him. He's going to watch this football player. The lower he is, he knows I've got a one-on-one matchup. Once that happens, I'm going to go ahead and let's go take that matchup. He knows there's one-on-one because the halfback is low. He sees it. He goes, I'm going to take that throw every time. He talked about it in his interviews last week. When they do that, I'm throwing it to the one-on-one every time.
Top receiver in the game and gets another touchdown reception from one of the top quarterbacks in the history of the CFL. And certainly has the numbers to prove it too. He passes Crazy Ham and into the top 10. Next up, Doug Flutie. He could catch him this season. Right now, the Ticats are the team to catch. They have a 10-0 lead.
Levi Mitchell, Trey Sam here. Congratulations on moving into the top 10 All-CFL passing list. I applaud you on your longevity and consistency of play. You've been a great player in this league, and I applaud that. Congratulations.
Isn't that nice? So that's praise from one of the all-time greats in Crazy Ham. He had been with Edmonton, with Baltimore, of course, and the Alouettes. What a great career he had. But now, Bo Levi Mitchell vaulting ahead on that touchdown pass.
And I think he's got a chance to catch Doug Flutie this season. The way he's throwing the football and the way he's running this offense, got a chance to go ahead and move up past the great Doug Flutie.
A lot of great names on that list. See Matt Dunnigan, Tracy Ham, of course, just passing him, and Anthony Calvillo at the top of it. Damon Allen. The RedBlacks in a hole. Little Pimpleton with the ball. Katsantonis, who had a pick and a good special teams tackle, too, on Pimpleton, just shy of the 40. So Drew Brown and the Ottawa offense coming on again. And a break for Bo. Yet another toss. The 8th of the season to his favorite target, Kenny Lawler. And as Bo Levi Mitchell gets a little break, rest has become an important part of his resurgence. Let's go down and say hello to Claire Hanna.
Well, Rod, as you know, we have Zoom calls with players every week ahead of each game, and every time our crew talks to Bo Levi Mitchell, he's on the table getting a massage or he's getting acupuncture. And I asked Mitchell about this, and he said, you know what, in my 13th year in the CFL, well, one of the things I've started prioritizing is rest and recovery. He used to be able to play 2 to 3 rounds of golf a week or walk around the mall with his wife. Now Mitchell says he basically goes straight from training home to bed. He used to only need 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night, but a few years ago he realized it was harder to memorize plays and he wasn't as sharp. So now it's lights out at 9 o'clock and a 4:30 a.m. alarm clock. Now clearly it's paying off as Mitchell continues to climb up the ranks, and of course we just saw him officially in the top 10 for CFL passing yards, guys.
And Claire as well, his 12th touchdown pass against 1 interception this season so far. Oh, nearly picked up again by Peters, and that would have been 6th. Jamal Peters, and they're treating it like a live ball as he jumped in. Like a lateral, and Ottawa does recover it, but Peters, who had 2 interceptions on Brown last week, nearly had a pick 6 to add to what the Ticats have done.
Very similar to what happened with Calgary and Winnipeg a couple of nights ago. This is a run play all the way, but when you see blitzers off the edge, you throw the screen pass. You better make the block on the perimeter. Jamal Peters recognizes it's a screen pass, beats the block of Justin Hardy, makes a play on this, and it was a lateral, so that's going to push the ball back and create this 2nd and extra for the RedBlacks.
Alert by Andre Miller to make sure the RedBlacks at least keep the ball. They lose yardage, though. 8 of them. 2nd and 18. Tough start. Ottawa down by 10. 2nd and long. Short pass underneath the Williams standback. Trying to do the rest himself, but he does a pretty good job of it. Up across the 45. He had to get to the 48. He did get close. It's a 3rd down coming up here for Ottawa, but looks like it's close enough to go for it.
So you're never going to go broke putting money in the bank when everybody drops out into coverage because it's 2nd and extra. Go ahead and check it down to William Stanback. He makes one person miss. He's going to be in the he's going to be in a position to be able to convert this, put themselves in a 3rd and 1 situation. RedBlacks going tempo here to do their quarterback sneak.
And Drew Brown staying in this short yardage. Sometimes we see Dustin Crum handle this, but it is Brown. 3rd and inches, and he doesn't get much, and they're trying to pull the ball out. Turning around, this will be interesting. Only needed a few inches, and the Ticats think they've done enough to stop them and take over on downs. See where they spot this football.
Really good surge at the point attack. Casey Sales does good push it on the guard position where you got new guard here, Parker Moore. We'll see whether this is a 1st down. I think they're just giving it to him.
They are. It is a 1st down Ottawa, but not by much, Lapo.
And you ask, why do you not put Dustin Crum in this situation? You're going to go tempo at times so Hamilton has to keep their defense on the field. So you may give up a little bit by having a better Kubi sneak player, but you're going to have better personnel, you hope, to go against defense.
1st down, pressure coming right away. Off to Justin Hardy, but no, doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Destin Talbert there along with Peters to send him out of bounds. So Hamilton's defense really tightening up now and making life difficult for Drew Brown and the RedBlacks.
Something a little strange on that. When that ball was snapped, it was snapped early. The left side of the line didn't really move. So just a little, not sure what's going on with a couple of miscues by the offensive players.
Barely back to the line of scrimmage. So a 2nd and 10. Ottawa down by 10. Late 1st quarter. Brown to throw quickly again. And it is caught. That's Andre Miller, the slot back with the reception. Just shy of a 1st down again. We're going to have another 3rd and short coming up here for Ottawa.
Good catch by Miller, just sitting down in the zone, curling up, getting this catch right before Reggie Stubblefield can make a play on him. Big target, Andre Miller, 230-pound player. He was actually a tight end prospect in the NFL a couple of years ago.
Well, once again, it is 3rd and inches, and Drew Brown stays in, and he should have that one more decisively than the last. Looks like a 1st down again for Ottawa, just across midfield in the Ticat zone. And it needs some early points here after the other explosive start, as it turns out, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. with that touchdown pass from Bo Levi Mitchell again to Kenny Lawler.
And I think for Ottawa's offense, they have to have better productivity on first down. Last week, they only had 140 yards on first down in the whole game. That's where you can get your explosive plays. That's where you can get your big plays. You're going to see less in coverage. They got to be better on first downs.
Last two have had to deal with second and long. Here's first down and a fake to stand back, rolling out to the right. Throwing, it is caught, and still going is Pimpleton. Down the sideline, finally forced out, deep into the Ticat zone. It looked like they had him out of bounds much earlier. Kept his feet, stayed inside, and got a whole lot more down inside the 15, about the 14-yard line.
If you watch over here, you'll see a defensive end come down the line of scrimmage. Drew pulls it, looking for a receiver, throws underneath because he's outflanked the defense. Get the ball to Khalil Pimpleton. Good things are going to happen. His quickness, his acceleration, flips this, turns into an explosive play.
Get him in space, see what he can do, and see his ability with the ball in special teams too. But a great pickup, 37 yards on the ground now. William Standback, who had a big touchdown at the time to put them in the lead heading to the fourth quarter in Hamilton last week, but that time only picks up a yard or two.
Trying to pin on the outside and get good plays. Reggie Stubblefield comes downhill, makes a really nice tackle here on Standback on the outside perimeter.
Give him a yard. And we are down to the last play of this first quarter. There's Reggie Stubblefield. Game 2 for him as a Ticat. Missed over a year. He was with the Alouettes, and in their opening day suffered a knee injury in Winnipeg over a year ago, and then as a free agent signing on with Hamilton, starting at strong side linebacker. Last play of the quarter. They got that screen to Pimpleton coming across. Takes a hit by Stubblefield, and then Stubblefield gets some help, as it'll be a third down and a field goal try, presumably coming up here for the RedBlacks in search of some points to start the second quarter. One quarter is done. Big plays. Hamilton's defense and Hamilton's offense too. Bo Levi Mitchell needed 27 yards to get into the top 10. Got it on that big play to Kenny Lawler.
Bombers, Argos, the CFL on TSN and CTV.
Through one quarter, the Ticats lead the RedBlacks here in Ottawa 10-0. The biggest play of note has to be the touchdown pass that put Bo Levi Mitchell into the top 10 all time. And it was another one to Kenny Lawler, Lapo.
Yeah, what I would say for the Ottawa RedBlacks, I know part of your game plan is going to be stopping the run, doing other things when Hamilton has tight ends in the box, which was that play. You better put two people over Kenny Lawler the rest of the game. If they rush for 120 yards, that's fine. We do not want to give up an explosive play. Now for Ottawa, they've got to find a way to run the football, be better on first down. They're -5 yards rushing right now in this first quarter, so they got to find a way to be more productive.
You know what's interesting, Coach, about Lawler last week? We didn't say his name a lot until that big, amazing catch for the touchdown. The first one he got. Ottawa had been doing a fairly good job against it, but they got caught in that one-on-one coverage, and that's where he burns them.
Yeah, it's hard as a defensive team and a defensive coach when you have one great player. You may stop them 55 plays, but if you miss on one of them, it can be the difference of the game. So it's very difficult when you have an outstanding defensive player like Kenny.
Lewis Ward on to give the first points to the Ottawa RedBlacks to start the second quarter. So he's 15-19 on the season. That one a 21-yard chip shot for Ward, their kicker since 2018 in that remarkable year. But there's a remarkable receiver who, according to our stats guru, John Perlberg, on his last 13 receptions, 6 touchdowns, Lapo. Think about that. Last 13 catches, 6 of them have been for touchdowns. He's got 8 on the year.
This week we talked about, is he the best, difficult catch receiver? And he's got to be in that conversation. His ability to make difficult catches. 2002, Milt Stegall, 23 touchdowns.
I heard Kate having some fun at Milt's expense there, but that's number 8 already, a third of the way through. And that's a standard. Talk about ridiculous. Milt Stegall, 23 in 02. But Lawler's on pace so far. That's Giovanni Robinson with the high hurdle. And on that reception, as Mitchell adds to his totals, too. And they get it up the midfield. And another Tiger Cat first down.
This is what there's a lot more in Scott Milanovic's game plan. Tight ends. And it's everybody doubles Kenny Lawler. Look what opens up. Your fullback underneath. Robinson, big target for them. The global player. Third-year player for Ronnie Robinson.
In his second year at a Barry University.
Yes,
It's up near midfield now, and a 1st and 10. Mitchell hands off Augustine. Coming in on the tackle is the strong side linebacker Darius Peckett, and limits him to maybe a yard or 2. Call it, and a 2nd down and long coming up here.
Really good stop by the RedBlacks. This is what's called the secondary blitz. When you blitz a player from the secondary to help stop the run, comes off the edge. They don't have him accounted for. One of the receivers didn't come in to block him, so Pickett's a free player to the temple.
Up at midfield. 10-0, looking for more. The Hamilton Tiger Cats started the season at 0-2. They've won 3 straight, including against Ottawa last week. The throw off the fingertips of Tim White with Robert Priester bearing down. It's incomplete, and it is now a 3rd down and a punting situation for the Ticats.
Good stop by this RedBlacks defense. They did a lot of good things last week, making stops here. You see Tim White coming across the field here. A little bit of hesitation by Tim White, and I think that's why him and Bo weren't on the same page a little bit. It looked like he hesitated before he ran into this hole. Good spot by Priester. Good defensive stop by Willie Fields' defense.
Fields had been co-defensive coordinator with the Argos last year in their Grey Cup year. Constantine inside the 45 of the Ticats for Khalil Pimpleton. Down inside his 10. And Ryan Cole was in close, inside 5. You see the flags come out for no yards. So tack on 15 there as Pimpleton got it up to about the 18-yard line. RedBlacks, they got some work to do on just a gorgeous Sunday evening in the nation's capital. Ottawa offense and Drew Brown back on the field. He is 6 for 8, but for 66 yards, and he's also been picked off once.
For Ottawa, they got to get better at big plays. Offense is 9th in the Canadian Football League in big plays as a unit, and on offensively, they've 30-plus plays, which is a pass deeper obviously than 30 yards, or last in the CFL, and that's going to lead to being last in points. 22 points per game offensively. You got to find some big plays. You got to find it on 1st down when it's easier to throw the football.
The Ticats, Ladlo, have almost doubled them so far in that offense. Blitz coming! Off comes the helmet, too. That looked dangerous on Drew Brown, who is still down with the pressure coming instantly by the Ticats off the edge. Brown didn't have a chance and gets hit.
This is a shark ride because the Sam and the halfback are coming. Deshaun Amos is coming off here, but you cannot deliver a blow to the head of the quarterback. This is going to draw a penalty. They're going to make sure this, they're going to take a look and make sure this, they could look at this from the command center, see if this could be upgraded to a grade 2 spearing. But you just cannot lead with your head. So teams bring this, just got to get your head out of this picture here. The outside player was blocked. Stubblefield was blocked by the inside, but that leaves Amos as a free player. They didn't recognize it.
And Lapo, you hear the crowd, and that's because no flag has been thrown at this point, with Drew Brown still down. So there has been a flag, excuse me, but I guess getting a look at don't see one down on the field now, so one thrown earlier. There's Dustin Crum coming on, but the crowd reacting, I guess, seeing it on the video board as well, that contact. And yeah, they are now moving the sticks finally. They hadn't moved them before, still back at the Ottawa 25, and now they moved it right up in a 1st down at the Ottawa 50.
We have a major foul, grade 2 roughing the passer against Hamilton number 8. It's a 25-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down for Ottawa.
Yeah, I agree with that call. He's kind of, there's no other, usually the command center is going to look and say, is there any mitigating circumstances that forced you to make that hit into the head? He's running full speed. Drew Brown doesn't see him. He has no chance to make him miss. He doesn't drop his head. So Amos, when he's coming free like that, he just cannot lead with his head. So that's going to draw that grade 2 sparing. The command center's looking at that and try to make sure no other mitigating circumstances. Just want that out of the game.
As I said, it took a while before any action was taken that way as they left the sticks back at the original line of scrimmage, but finally moving them. And Deshaun Amos over in Hamilton now from the Toronto Argonauts, and a 25-yard penalty up to the 50. And Dustin Crum, who has had a couple of starts this season, Drew Brown missed 3 starts. Matthew Schultz had 1 and Crum the other 2, including their lone victory in Calgary, is on now.
Now as a coordinator, Tommy Condell, offense coordinator of the RedBlacks, he'll have on his call sheet, he'll have certain calls for the second string quarterback, so there could be more quarterback run. We know that's the strength of Dustin Crum, his ability to use his legs. He's got the ability to create, and he can also be basically a running back playing quarterback.
Drew Brown has gone to the room, so here's Crum throwing on first down and across midfield and into the Ticat zone. A gain of 12. To Keelan White, who had his first CFL touchdown last week in Hamilton.
Pulls the ball off the perimeter. Easy throw underneath on a flood route to the wide side of the field. Those are good, easy throws for Dustin Crum. Here's Tommy Condell, offensive coordinator, going to his second quarterback package.
Handing off to Daniel Attaboy. Big hole, runs right through it, gets it down inside the 35. First down, RedBlacks. Down to about the 32 of Hamilton for Attaboy in his first year with Ottawa.
Should be a push right here. You're going to get a good run by Attaboy as they pull 2 players to the point of attack. When you bring 2 players to point of attack, you're trying to create a seam in the defense and get back up inside. Really good play.
First down and running again. The RedBlacks back to Attaboy. His first 3 years in the CFL with the Toronto Argonauts, winning the Grey Cup in 2022 and again last year.
It's an interesting combination of having Attaboy, William Stanback. They both usually average about 50 yards a game, but between the 2 of them, they're usually a 100-yard rusher. It's a good 1-2 punch at the tailback position.
Easily their best running game for the RedBlacks offense was in their victory in Calgary in the horrible weather at McMahon. Since then, 4 receivers to the right, throwing the other way and completing it to Pimpleton. Crum to Pimpleton, inside the 20, and another RedBlacks first down. 11-yard pickup, and the crowd not liking that, the way he headed out of bounds.
Ray Wilburn, a little bit of throwing at the end of this. So Khalil Pimpleton, go upfield, turn out 6 yards, throw it to him, put him in the flat. I think that's a good no call. I think Wilburn didn't do much. I think Pimpleton just got caught up. Just got caught up in that net. That damn kicking net always gets it. Right?
Blame the net.
Trying to hold him up. Blaming the net right here.
I don't think the crowd's blaming the net. Not at this point. First and 10. So RedBlacks with Dustin Crum at quarterback, being chased by Taiwan Garbett, who gets him. Good job by Garbett against a good running quarterback to track him down and sack him for a loss back close to the 30, and a loss of 7, first sack of the year for the former Blue Bomber, Taiwan Garbett.
Garbett does what Garbett does a very good job of bending down so the quarterback pulls it and then recovering. Garbett's very athletic. Watch him jump down, and he says, no, I'm now going to recover to Dustin Crum. Dustin Crum's a fast quarterback, so you can see the speed and athleticism by Garbett here, forcing the pull by the quarterback and then recovering and making the play.
Dustin Crum takes the shotgun and underneath for Attaboy, and gets it back inside the 20, so they get the lost yardage back, but it's still a 3rd down and long coming up.
That's a good check down by Dustin Crum. Can see where his eyes were, where he wanted to throw the football. It's covered, goes to his check down. So he reserved the right to kick on this drive. Make sure they end this drive with a kick so they get an opportunity for a field goal.
Last time around, they had a 21-yard kick from Lewis Ward. This one a little further out, 26-yard try for the veteran out of the University of Ottawa GGs. Hold from Richie Leona. So another 3 on the board for the RedBlacks, who get within 4. 10-6 ball game. Field goal on the touchdown pass for Hamilton. Here's Drew Brown. Hit hard to the helmet of Deshaun Amos, and Brown is out. Crum is in. Great season for Kenny Lawler, but in particular the last 3 games, if we count this one, 2 weeks ago against the Argos. Mitchell to Lawler, devastating against Toronto. He had over 200 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. And then that crazy catch against Ottawa last week. Another couple of touchdowns, and then this tonight. Historic catch, too. For Lawler, 8th touchdown of the season for Bo Levi Mitchell. That yardage put him into the top 10 all-time in the CFL passing stats. Mitchell throwing again. That one is caught. First catch of the evening for the second-year receiver. Shamar Bridges has it and picks up about 4 yards.
Right, it's going to be an interesting thing about Kenny Lawler. We talk about can he get to that record and everything. As a, as the play caller in 02 with Milt Stegall, there was a lot of different coverages. There's a lot less coverages. There's man coverage and cover three deep coverages. Now there's so many different types of coverage, pictures for the defense. I think it might be harder for him to get to that 25 number just because there's so much less man in the CFL.
2nd and 6. Mitchell under pressure, trying to get out of it. On the run to the left. Daniel Apoka was chasing him, and he just throws that one away. And a 3rd and 6 is coming up.
Another good stand-up by the defense of this RedBlacks. I really thought they did some good things through basically 3/4 of the game last week. Adding some pressure, forcing the back to be in a blitz, forcing the back to be in a protection situation. You see Javon Santos Knox here. He beats Ward, forces Bo to run away, and then make the throwaway. Hey, last week, they had 3 takeaways where they, on those 3 takeaways Ottawa had, the RedBlacks defense only gave up 3 points, Ron. They've really done a good job of stopping Hamilton for the most part after those takeaways last week.
Yeah, they had one big stand inside the 5. Ticats couldn't get it in, but eventually they did and got the victory, and that's a good coverage on the punt. And flags do come out. Pimpleton on the short return that time. Here we are midway through the 2nd quarter.
They're in the return. Illegal block in the back. Ottawa, number 34. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Ottawa.
As announced by the referee Ben Major for this one tonight. So pushes the RedBlacks back inside their 20. So they do have points to show for their efforts the last 2 possessions with Lewis Ward field goals, but they still do trail by 4 midway through the 2nd.
Just had a couple of penalties backing them up to start these drives. They're on long fields right now.
You're just joining us. Dustin Crum in at quarterback for Ottawa again after the injury by Drew Brown. William Stanback, the running back for Ottawa.
It's shark and whale week right now, so you a little bit of pressure off the outside, forcing this ball to be handed off.
So you said shark.
I said shark earlier. I said whale now. Whale. What is whale? Well, Hamilton on the last play brought the will linebacker and the boundary halfback. And what that does is it doesn't allow Dustin Crum to pull the football. It makes him have to hand the ball off. Good adjustment by Brent Munson, not letting the mobile quarterback run to the perimeter.
I'm going to try. I'm really going to try to get my shark and whale calls here. Flag out. Well, what do you call that? I call that a sack. Just lots of pressure. Devin Veresuk, the first-year middle linebacker in there, and so too is Julian Hauser back in Hamilton this season. As the pressure from the Ticats gets through again.
Pressure up on the inside. Once again, when the back is in a situation where he's got to handle it, there's push. Also, Jacob Ruby gets
Hamilton,
beat.
number 9. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 2nd down.
And what you see there is, what you see was a twist on the inside. And that's very difficult when everybody's in one-on-one situation. What's twist mean? One defensive lineman goes inside, one linebacker goes around, forces Ruby to be in a one-on-one situation. He gets beat.
But Taiwan Garbett was called on the offside, so it's a 2nd and 2. For the RedBlacks after 27, trailing 10-6 with Crum at quarterback. Handing off to Stanback again, puts his head down, and he pushes his way up across the 30 and a first down for Ottawa. Gain of 6 for number 31 Stanback.
Good solid run inside, create that with some of those inside seams and 2nd and short.
Stanback, many great years with the Alouettes, with the BC Lions last year, and then signing on as a free agent back in the East Division with Ottawa this year. Quickly, quick hitter goes to Justin Hardy, who gets it up across the 45. Another first down, Ottawa. Gain of 13 for Hardy.
That's what you like to see. There's a pressure off the defensive edge. You're going to see all these linebackers coming, and you put a slant right behind it. But the ball has to come out quick. Watch how quickly Dustin Crum flips his hips, gets the ball to Hardy, one of his favorite targets for the first down. So 1st and 10. What's the Ticats defense saying? Hey, you're not going to run the football. We're going to blitz everybody, and we'll see if you can throw the ball. Good play by Dustin Crum here, recognizing the blitz first and foremost and locating the ball to Justin Hardy with a free player in his face.
And an injured Ticat. That's the rookie linebacker, Devin Veresek, who's one of the notable rookies in the Canadian Football League this year. A little blood there on his head, getting the treatment from the medical staff. But 2nd overall pick out of Windsor. And also in this game, Keelan White had a catch earlier. And there is a top 3. Damian Alford. Boy, we saw him, Lapo, the Moose, the other day in Winnipeg with the Calgary Stampeders. A couple more touchdowns, 300 receiving yards, 5 TDs, and that's all in the last 3 games.
Yeah, spectacular. Damian Alford, should be in the conversation. All 3 of these guys could be in the conversation of rookie of the year. I'm going to add one more name. 8th overall pick. Chris Fortin out of Laval.
Also the Calgary Stampeders stepping in nicely at center.
Yes.
We'll take a break. Be back here in Ottawa in a moment here in the CFL on TSN. And there's Devin Veresek getting some attention still for a cut on his head. Suffered in that last play, and off the sidelines, the rookie middle linebacker out for at least 3 plays.
What's with the phone, Rod? Were they checking his Instagram or something on there? Like
any opportunity, right? So a change in the middle of that Ticat defense now, and on a running play. Stand back again. That's on a first down as he picks up a few more. There's Ryan Baker, who's the one that's standing in at middle linebacker now for Veresek. Another Canadian kid.
Nice run. William Stanback does this so well. Watch him put his foot in the ground, get north-south, get your shoulders square. Very difficult to bring down. William Stanback with his shoulders square. Ryan Baker, nice job making that tackle.
In his 2nd year at a UBC, so it's a 2nd and 8 at the Ottawa 48, a 10-6 ball game. Dustin Crum at quarterback. Quickly again to the right. Another catch and another first down for Ottawa. It is Andre Miller with another catch for the RedBlacks.
4 receivers. How many low players? Only 3 here and then 1 here. There's just too much space. They moved the back out of the backfield. You just release a bunch of players outside 6 yards, figure out where the soft spot is, throw it. Good location, good timing by Dustin Crum.
Who's 5 for 5 for 57 yards, taking the place of the injured Drew Brown, who headed to the dressing room after that hit earlier this quarter. Taking the handout quickly again to Hardy, Justin Hardy, down to the 32 of Hamilton. That's been working for Crum, and that RedBlacks offense, those quick hitters over the middle, another 15 yards.
Good things he does. This is a run-pass option. How do you know it's a run-pass option? Because he blocks out, he blocks out. They're going to read this linebacker, and if the linebacker's in the box, they throw the slant behind him. You can see that happen. Great location to Hardy. Lets him run to get this ball close to the field goal range.
Dustin Crum handing off. William Stanback, and maybe a yard. That's it for Ottawa with a 2nd and long coming up.
Another shark sighting, right? So again, Hamilton's pressure package is trying to slow down. Why? Because Ottawa runs a lot of perimeter plays, a lot of perimeter runs. So they're trying to pressure from the outside to slow down Dustin Crum.
I'm sensing it's your mission to get me to finally call a shark blitz.
Yes, love it. Trent Munson, he's got all his fishing gear right now, right? Going through the whole. Hats off to him.
This could be a season. This could be a season-long project. I'm a little slow.
You have Shark Week. Here. Don't we have Shark Week?
We used to. Yeah, absolutely. Another catch. This time underneath and short to Hardy. Well, we had Shark Week on Discovery, right? But we used to promote it all the time. That was Wayne Ford's favorite thing.
Wayne Ford's favorite.
3rd down coming up. 3-minute warning given. Hamilton leading the RedBlacks here in the nation's capital, 10-6.
This is the hottest debate. You don't think that if I jumped on Enoch's back right now, we could race you guys, and that you think you would beat us?
I would be.
There's no chance.
Can't run.
Do it.
Carry you, man.
This is ridiculous. Like Rod, Lapo, we need your help over here. This is outrageous.
What is happening?
Oh, Kate, be happy to help. Did I hear, is there another race going on? See, we didn't have a monitor. We couldn't see. And up and through, another field goal for Lewis Ward. 3 for 3 on the night, so they're getting closer with those field goals, still 1 point behind.
We had a race in Winnipeg, right, Kate?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were not sure what the
Well, that was the airplane race.
Yes,
And Kate says by default that she won that race. That was with Enoch, right? With Ches and Milton, the other ones said they straight into the other lane anyway. So, but I don't know what they're doing in studio now. I have to wait and see. Halftime coming up, 2:40 on the clock, and for Bob Dice, a lot of pressure on this team right now. They only lost once at home last season, and they've lost twice so far. Still looking for their first home victory now. Johnny Augustine, the running back beside Bo Levi Mitchell. He has the ball, and he gets tackled there by Bryce Carter after picking up a couple of more yards. 4 for Johnny Augustine, product of the University of Guelph, who started his career, had many seasons, including some time with Lapo with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, Johnny is a talented running back. You know, obviously when you're behind Andrew Harris, it's hard to get opportunities because Andrew Harris never got hurt, but been a solid running back in the Canadian Football League.
Up to the 44, Hamilton now, nursing a 1-point lead now. At one point it was 10-0, 3 straight RedBlacks field goals, unanswered. 2nd down and 6, Mitchell. That's caught, midfield. So enough for a first down. A little battle with Darius Pickett and Tim White after that, but they do get the first. It's 12 more yards to the total of Bo Levi Mitchell, who stands number 10 all time in the Canadian Football League in passing yards.
A little bit of man coverage, just an easy throw on a dig on the inside. I love Bo's timing right here, how quickly the ball's out of his hand to get the ball to Tim White. As they continue to try to move here, they're going to be no huddle as they keep calling one-play calls at the line of scrimmage.
Just across midfield now, 7 for 12 for 90 yards. Touchdown pass to Kenny Lawler. Running here is Augustine. He's running hard too, gets it inside the 50. A pickup of 5 more yards for Johnny Augustine. Getting a lot more work now with the injury to Greg Bell, him and Treshawn Ward.
You know, running plays here. You know, you got 2 minutes left in this half. So part of your job as an offense is you're going to run the football because you've got plenty of time with the clock stopping after every play. You want to take time off the clock and go down and score a touchdown. That's the situational football they're working on right now.
2nd and 5, throwing to the left quickly to Tim White. First down inside the 35, down to about the 32 for Tim White.
The hard part about playing against a veteran quarterback is he's going to know what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a low player here. There's going to be a high player there. And there's going to be a hitch out there. Well, he's going to throw that hitch every time because he knows when that corner runs out of there, there's the zone. There's always a weakness in the zone. Trying to confuse the quarterback's very hard when his name's Bo Levi Mitchell.
So 3 catches, 36 yards, a gain of 18 there for Tim White. And a first down. Ticats moving. Johnny Augustine trying to get moving, but he gets wrapped up. Michael Wakefield inside limits him to about a yard. Call it 2 for Augustine, who gets around 50 now. 50 yards. He had 29 only last week in Hamilton against these RedBlacks.
Good situation here. Now you're sitting at a 38-yard field goal. As a quarterback, you want to make sure you lose no yardage here. Keep getting your first downs, but you're sitting at least 3 points. Trying to go to 7. Try to get 7 and run the clock out.
From the Ottawa 29 now. Mitchell with time. And the receiver was down that he wanted. And a flag comes out, too, for the interference. Robert Priester was there on Kenny Lawler, who limps as he's getting up. And looks like the RedBlacks are being penalized, and that's not a good sight, obviously. See Kenny Lawler favoring that left leg, the knee areas. Here's what happened.
Kenny Lawler is going to break out. He's going to start to go ahead and break out.
Defensive
and then break
pass
back
interference,
in.
Ottawa number 23. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down for Hamilton.
So as he goes out and then back in, this is called what you call a poison route. You're going to try to get the guy to undercut and run and then break back inside. That's a difficult route in man coverage, and that's why that draws the penalty. It's very difficult to handle because you're going one direction and then the receiver breaks back inside. Tendency to hold there. So good first down by that Ticats on that poison play.
And good to see Lawler on the sideline standing and trying to work it out there in his left leg. So out of this game in Ottawa 19, And a little toss the other way inside Tim White. And tried to get the edge there. He is tackled Bennett Williams, and a flag comes out late again on that tackle of Tim White at the end of that play.
Little misdirection. You're trying to show the ball going to the right, but it's actually going to the
Hamilton,
left.
number 66. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. We will replay the first down.
You can see here, you're going to get a big puller. Quentin Barrow pulling around for Tim White. On this counter play, you're going to fake the plays going to the right and then soft toss it back on the inside. So a good stop on this play. And obviously the penalty that's going to back him up.
And you see Kenny Lawler back in the game, top of your screen, right around the 30. The scrimmage with the penalty. Treshaun Ward is the running back for Hamilton now. Getting late, first half, 1-point game. Mitchell gets out of the pressure. He gets rid of it. Could have been picked off by the middle linebacker, Javon Santos-Knox. It hit him. It falls down to the turf. And a break for the Ticats there as they're in scoring range late in the half.
As the quarterback drops back here, it's 2nd and 20 here. The biggest thing you don't want to do is do what almost happened here. Force yourself in a bad situation. Both tackles get beat as he's trying to get the check down. Santos-Knox is there. So you're now sitting at 2nd and 20 with 1:02 left. The best thing you want to do is make sure this clock doesn't stop. Try to get what you can for yardage. Keep the clock running to give Ottawa no opportunity to score at the end of the half.
So here we go, Mitchell. Over the middle, deep, and another break for the Cats. That had a chance of being picked off, and that's DeAndre Lamont, his first game of this CFL season, inserted on the field side corner, and he could have had an interception in the end zone.
Kenny Lawler's going to wrap on the inside. You're going to have 2 players here, and he's going to try to throw the inside throw. It's there. It's a good read. Watch. He's going to wrap right inside. The ball's thrown with anticipation, just too high. Forces the field goal here, but I like his decision. Just got to bring that ball down. I'm sure he's not happy about his location of that football.
So Mark Leggio does come back on. Leggio, the all-time streak for the Ticats, set that one last week, 1-for-1 on the night, and this to make it 29 in a row, which he does. A 37-yarder for Mark Leggio as the Ticats move back in front by 4 with under a minute to go until halftime.
Yeah, what a great season for Leggio. That's great to see. You always talk about the kickers. You got to give them time, develop, and go through the league. And Leggio's been spectacular this season. It's good. I had a good chance to talk to him before the game. Told him I was going to shout him out. We should do him on the opening. I'm like, sooner or later we're going to talk instead of offense, defense. Let's do the special teams guys.
There you go.
Huh?
How about these four? Are you going to shout them out?
How about these guys? Huh?
Hey,
Enoch,
they're your
Sanchez,
studio friends.
Stiegel,
Hey.
my peeps.
Say something nice. Come on, Lapo.
Oh, I love all those people. You kidding me?
I know.
I spend so much time with them.
What a week they have too.
Oh.
Of course we love you. Yeah, I was going to say busy week for them, and a very emotional one too for Milton going back to Winnipeg as well. And
happy he's back.
Set it. They have no see him. Oops.
Oh boy. Okay.
You got to be careful. You never know.
Right there. Did a Coldplay concert show up here?
Oh. The great Ottawa RedBlacks fans and just camera shy there. 2nd and 11 now. Time ticking down for Dustin Crum, the quarterback now for the RedBlacks, and has been effective as he gets that one to Pimpleton just shy of a first down. The Crum coming on after that hit taken by Drew Brown. That's the big concern for the RedBlacks too. Hit by Deshaun Amos on that blitz.
Very smart play call here. It's an out cut to the sideline where Dustin Crum doesn't have to read coverage or anything. He just throws it to the sideline, and it's either a completion or out of bounds. You'll get a quick wedge here and then back at the line of scrimmage as there's 26 seconds left.
And not too late to consider if they can get it downfield quickly of getting another shot at a field goal for Lewis Ward. 24 seconds. They're up at their 50.
They'll be up at the line of scrimmage calling their no. That's a good call by Coach Dice getting a timeout.
And clouds are rolling in and a little few drops of rain coming down.
Ottawa.
As long as there's no lightning, because I promised Kate Burness back in the preseason that there would not be another weather delay here in the nation's capital when they had an hour-long one. That Alouette RedBlacks preseason game. Hey, we mentioned Milt Stegall earlier. How about this flashback? 19 years ago today, Winnipeg at Edmonton, Kevin Glenn, desperation, time running out. As Chris Cuthbert said so well, are you kidding? Milt Stegall takes it all the way down. One of the most miraculous finishes in the history of the CFL. 19 years ago today as Winnipeg comes back and beats Edmonton. Wow. That's Andre Miller, and they're trying to get close, and they got a good shot at it now to the 50.
Good vision by Dustin Crum. Andre Miller just curls up as the linebackers expand to the outside. Good time and rhythm throw. Taking too much time off the clock.
Yeah,
here.
It's ticking. Under 15 now. Crum. Well, he decides to take off, get it as close as he can, and he has inside the 40. That's close enough for Lewis Ward. 7 seconds on the clock, so looks like Ottawa's going to have a chance to get this back to within a point before halftime. Gain of 13 yards for Dustin Crum.
Not going to take a chance here. Crum sees this, is ready to throw. He sees the defensive back drive on it, so he pulls the ball down. Good decision, gets the yardage. Here with 7 seconds, Coach Dice just doesn't want, with a younger quarterback, anything to happen. You could get a field, you could try to do something to get a little bit more yardage, but with 7 seconds, pretty close. Just going to kick the field goal. The wind's at Lewis Ward's back. Should get a good opportunity for a chance to get 3 points.
But it should, bring up that guy, Isaiah Wooden. What a dangerous returner. If Ward doesn't make this from 45, you got to be careful about number 11. He's returned a couple of kickoffs for touchdowns. He's been one of the great new returners in the Canadian Football League, but that will not be a concern because Lewis Ward is 4 for 4, accounting for all the RedBlacks points with zeros on the clock at halftime. So the RedBlacks fell behind by 10, but they come back, and we got a game, a 1-point game. Hamilton still leads it in the closest possible margin. Here's a big play. First half, Drew Brown picked off by Stavros Katsantonis to set up this.
Big play by Kenny Lawler on the outside over McGee for the one-on-one touchdown. We got a hell of a game, though.
Made possible by that pick by Stavros Katsantonis, who's standing by now with Claire.
Stavros, your second interception of the season. Your team was fired up after that play. What did you see?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of film study there. Coach Mont's giving us a call. We've been looking at it kind of the past couple of weeks and, just put me in a position to make a play and, just did the rest. Got to give the glory to God on that one for sure. Now, the following play, Kenny Lawler scores his 8th touchdown of the season. You practice against him every day. How inspiring is he right now? Oh, man, it's awesome. We had a little team bonding over this past couple days off, and just to hang out with Kenny and just to get to know him a little bit more, and just see the drive he has for the game, and then puts it on the football field. It just doesn't make you any happier than that, seeing him score. Thank you, Stavros. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, I hope you guys are staying dry. It's raining right now, Kate.
Yeah, sorry about that, Claire. It's perfect in the studio as per usual. Kate alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stegall. And if you're on Instagram during their bye week, you did see that there was a big team bonding event, and it was at a cottage. And once I saw that, I'm like, well, those are dangerous because they look like they were having fun. Obviously, they really enjoy each other. Right. But Milt, we were talking about this and just the job that Ted Gouveia has done with this team and building this team, whether it be through the draft, through free agency. Right. It is just gelling really nice. We have a great football game, by the way, a 1-point game. But Hamilton just overall has been so impressive with this chemistry.
Yeah, and that defense has been great. You talk about Ted Gouveia and the additions. We know about Kenny Lawler, what he's done for this offense, but this defense needed a lot of upgrading. This was the worst defense in the CFL last year, so I'm sure Brest Munson is like, give me some players on defense. That's exactly what happened. You talk about Reggie Stubblefield, Deshaun Amos, who I think is one of the most underrated halfbacks or defensive backs in this league. Garbert also came from Winnipeg. Varasek, their first-round draft pick. All those guys are contributing because they needed some upgrades on that defense, and that's exactly what happened when Ted Gouveia went out and got these guys.
And you talk about one of the things that Ted Gouveia wanted to do when he brought those guys together, Bill. He wanted to get some pressure, and we saw tonight one of the result. It wasn't the best hit that you want to have happen as a defensive player, but look at the result and what happens. Deshaun Amos, one of the guys you mentioned, triggers off the edge. He brings the pressure, and you got to give it to Munson as well, another coach that they hired over there. He comes off the edge, and there was just a lot happening. You see the right tackle was in limbo. He didn't know what was going on, and then nobody picks up Deshaun Amos. And this is one of the dangers that happens when you get these guys, are talented players that come off the edge. Now you don't have your starting quarterback if you're Ottawa. This is going to be difficult to finish this game now, Chess.
Yeah, and one of those players that's not new but making plays, who we just heard from, Stavros Katsantonis, the Bakersfield Bandit. You know, in every league, defensive backs, you eliminate routes. And Stavros Katsantonis right here, exactly what he did, especially in CFL with so much zone. Right here, you see, and Neil, you point this out, and you let me know this. Look at number 2 up top there. He's not hauling butt up the seam. If he's running faster, he would hold Stavros if he was really getting up the field. But he's kind of jogging, which allows Stavros to stay flat-footed and jump that route. That right there is, Stavros talked about film study. You talk about, again, you read routes. It's progression as a defensive back. You go through your progressions, you eliminate routes, and because number 2 wasn't hauling up the seam, he wasn't a threat. Stavros was able to stay flat-footed and jump that route.
You know what we talked about too with Stavros? I mean, this was a guy who reworked his contract so that other players could remain, right? And now he's playing arguably some of the best ball of his entire career. I mean, it's a great story, and he's been fantastic. This game overall, fantastic. A 1-point football game coming up after the break. If you missed any of the highlights from week number 7,
you would never do that.
Take a pay cut for the rest of the team.
Absolutely not. For you guys, yes.
It's the rematch, part 2 of the home-and-home series. It fluttered in. Darius Pickett was there. Touchdown, you-know-who. Kenny Lawler. He does it again. Still going is Pimpleton. Down the sideline, finally forced out like they had him out of bounds much earlier. Dustin Crum, quarterback, being chased by Tywan Garment, who gets up.
As promised, your Week 7 highlights. Argonauts taking on the Alouettes late in the 4th quarter. Owls down 5. Davis Alexander going to call his own number. Runs it in, but he tweaks that hamstring on the play. Alexander would go 8-0 as a starter in the CFL. Montreal in front, but they would fail that 2-point convert. Argos down 1 with a minute left. Nick Arbuckle just going to heave this up. Intercepted by Kabion Enso. Toronto would challenge for roughing the passer on Marc-Antoine Ducroix, but the call would stand. Montreal wins by 1 single point. To the Stampeders and the Blue Bombers on Friday Night Football. Late in the 3rd we go. Stamps up by 4. Vernon Adams Jr. going to spin out of the pocket. Spots a wide open Moose. Damian Alford for the 42-yard strike. 1 of 3 touchdown passes for VA. 2 of them to Alford. Bombers also lose Zach Collaros to injury in this one as the Stamps take it. Rough Riders and Lions on Saturday early in the 3rd. Riders up by 12. Trevor Harris going to hit Dante Myers down the sideline. He's going to find daylight. Myers' 2nd touchdown of the game. He caught all 7 targets, career high 132 yards as the Riders take it 33-27, the final of that one. As you saw, Davis Alexander once again pulling up with that hamstring. And when he first went down with this injury, Milt, we thought, great, you have McLeod Bethel-Thompson as your backup. But MBT wasn't that great coming in for him, and now at least 6 games, because that was just announced that he is on the injured list.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson has to play better, and he definitely can. With Edmonton last year, they didn't win many games, but he played well. You think about it, in 2022, Enoch knows about this. He led his team to the Grey Cup. So he's capable of doing it, but he has to do it because his team still has aspirations of winning the East and making it to the Grey Cup. But I don't care who they have around him. If he doesn't play better, they're not going to happen.
Yeah, he was the backup that I had the most belief in the offseason, and felt like this Montreal team had 2 great quarterbacks, and I still think that. I don't think he played well. I think he realizes that. Also, this Montreal defense is excellent.
Yep.
They're going to have to be better a lot of times. If your offense struggles, it even shows your defense more. Either highlights them or maybe shines negatively upon them, but I think they'll be great.
They have to. That defense has to step up right now. They've been able to do it for the last couple of years for that team, but this is the time for them to step up, especially with their next opponent right now. But you talk about McLeod Bethel-Thompson, this is going to be different for him because now, what did Davis Alexander say? I'm going to be out for a few weeks. Yeah. So now you're taking the next couple of weeks knowing you're going to be the starter. And so it's a different type of confidence that you get into it. So I have a little bit of confidence in him as well.
Yeah, we knew it was troublesome as soon as he said that after the game, but as said, it is official. He is on the 6-game injured list, so it will be MBT and the Alouettes taking on the Calgary Stampeders, who are Reds hot. Thursday, 8:30 Eastern. Oh, my goodness, don't. No one can see us on camera right now.
It's for us.
Jump,
Kate.
Kate.
Oh, I wish you guys could see in studio.
Oh,
my goodness. Somebody help me.
Don't fall, Bill.
Halftime in the nation's capital, and a nice evening. Turned awfully rainy late in that first half with the RedBlacks trailing by a point against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Well, there's the story in numbers. The biggest story for Ottawa, another injury to their starting quarterback. Drew Brown took a vicious headshot from Deshaun Amos in that first half, and he is done for the night. Here's Claire Hanna now with Ottawa head coach Bob Dice.
Bob, we heard that Drew Brown is going to be out with an upper body injury. How does the game plan change with Dustin Crum?
Well, I think Dustin's doing a good job executing the offense right now, so we'll continue with what we're doing and use some of the special skills that he has.
This being a one-point game, what was the motivation, the message at half?
Well, part of the motivation was we're the reason it's a one-point game. We have to correct ourselves in critical spots.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, and I would like to say, I don't know, we say we're going to protect quarterbacks, but I don't know how that's not an ejection.
Thank you.
A very upset Bob Dice, Paul LaPolice for this, thinking it should have been an ejection. Deshaun Amos coming in on Drew Brown.
Yeah, you can't lead with your head like that. That's a dangerous play. I'm sure Coach Dice has a right to think that there could have been an ejection. But it's going to be up to this guy, Dustin Crum, to play like he has. Did some nice things in this first half, leading his team to a bunch of field goals. They got to finish in the end zone.
Well,
better job of that, but we will see in the second half.
Which is underway in a one-point game. Khalil Pimpleton with the ball. So the RedBlacks start out on offense, running around, nowhere to go. And finally is taken down inside the Ottawa 30. The offense comes on, led by Dustin Crum. He started 2 games earlier this season after Brown got injured in the opener. Matthew Schultz played the second game, and then Crum at a couple of starts. He's 10 for 10 for 97 yards. And getting rid of the football quickly with those blitzes coming, Lapo.
And certainly rushing. William Stanbeck's got only 13 yards. Adeboye's got 18 yards. They got to get this run game going. Take some of this pressure off of Dustin Crum. Get the run game.
So little rain coming down, but it is starting to blow over now as the half begins. And Crum and the play action pass, and he gets rid of it quickly again. Gino Lewis, their leading receiver, finally has a catch in this game and a pickup of 13 yards and a first down for Ottawa.
Yeah, Gino Lewis is he's got the most second down conversions in the Canadian Football League. Catches for his second down conversion with 14. They're big play receiver. Like to get a shot. Once they get in rhythm with a couple of first downs, try to give him an opportunity for a shot play downfield.
So Dustin Crum, 11 for 11 on those short passes, handing off that time, and a burst through up across the 45 is Daniel Adeboye. 6 more yards, 24 on the night for the Ottawa running back in his first year with the RedBlacks.
Pretty good job up front by this offensive line. This offensive line allowed the most sacks in the CFL with 14. Now sacks aren't his offensive line responsibility, but they've done a good job in this first half protecting the quarterback.
And we get movement at the line. Zach Pelias, the right tackle, points to the Ticats defense and Taiwan Garbutt. The first one to cross the line of scrimmage.
Say, as Dwayne Ford likes to say, then the pointing contest goes on who went first.
Yep.
Looked like, so what teams offensively do to try to slow down this pass rush is they're going to go on a hard count, and they're going to do a little bit of motion on that hard count. Defensive players go off of movement of offensive waggles and motion. So you saw the back start to flare out. The defensive lineman starts to think the play is going to happen. Then the offensive line steps back as they enter the neutral.
Procedure, Ottawa, right guard. It's a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay second down.
So Zach Pelias is starting right tackle for the RedBlacks. You see what happened here.
Yes, second from the top, you'll see at the right guard position. The right guard started on that hard count. He kind of moved inside a little bit. And again, you just got to be careful. That's Parker Moore. Or Parker Moore, I thought, was the one who moved inside, made that move off a hard count by the quarterback. You gotta hold your water, Rod. Hold your water on a hard count.
Well, it's Darius Vladeck back in at right guard now for Ottawa. And throwing again after that penalty. And it is caught again by Eugene Lewis. But
they're saying no catch.
They're saying no catch for 87 on that play.
Nice route versus man coverage. Flip it to the sideline. Work out. Talbot does it. Destin Talbot, really nice play. You have to survive contact. The ball, you got to bring the ball down to the ground. Talbot rips it out at the last second. Take this catch away. Good job on his pass secondary of the Ticats. The strength of his defense is his pass secondary.
And the punt by Richie Leone goes down, hops out of bounds inside the 30. No chance for a return for Isaiah Wooden. So here's Bo Levi Mitchell. 8 for 15 for 108 yards, and that touchdown pass to Kenny Lawler. More explosive last week, certainly 2 weeks ago, but they do have the lead to start the second half, and Mitchell has mentioned those numbers. He's had better, but he is now in the top 10 all time in CFL passing.
108 yards, very pedestrian numbers, but again, things he's doing well. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions.
Hamilton's first possession of his second half with the 1-point lead at 13-12, quickly getting rid of it and completing it 2. Coming in is Kenny Lawler, as mentioned, had the touchdown earlier, number 8 on the season, and his 6th in the last 3 games, a gain of 12 for 89.
Like what they're doing here, putting Kenny Lawler at number 3 to the field. What do you do that for? Get your best receiver closer to the football. Let him work inside the underneath coverage. Find a hole, throw it up to him. So good adjustment and movement by Kenny Lawler.
Up to the Hamilton 41 now. The Tiger Cats, they've won 3 straight coming in. One up across the 50. It's Tim White this time, and that looks to be enough for a first down. Indeed it is, as the sticks will move for Hamilton.
Nice simple throws underneath. There's going to be a blitz on the outside, and when there's going to be a pressure, you're going to have people sitting down in the hole underneath. And you watch it, there's the pressure. Tim White sits down underneath as Pickett started to expand with Robinson there. It's a good drive. You see once again the Ticats at the line of scrimmage. Not huddling up, trying to get a picture of the defense early.
Up to the 51. First down. Handing off. Johnny Augustine across midfield before he gets pushed back. So it looks like 5 more yards on the ground for Augustine.
A lot of rotations. The Tiger Cats are a team that's going to play with a lot of different players on first down to second down. So you see Augustine leave the game. You see Robinson leave the game. Scott keeps playing with his personnel sets.
That's Treshawn Ward that comes in, number 39, in place of Augustine. In motion and then back beside Bo Levi Mitchell. Changes the play. The 54, the RedBlacks, and a second down and 5 off to the left. Caught. Another first down. It's Tim White again on that short pass. Gets it inside the Ottawa 50 to about the 48 of the RedBlacks.
And what we just saw there on offense by the Tiger Cats, something I talked to Scott Milanovic this week in our Zoom call. He said, one of the biggest things I took from my time in the NFL is trying to not make sure you run the ball or throw the ball into a bad play. So there's a lot of on the line of scrimmage where he fakes the cadence. So look at the defense. He gives the quarterback a quick picture so they're always in the right play.
Augustine back in the game and with the ball, and only a couple of yards there as the RedBlacks push him back. So a second and long is coming up now for Mitchell and the Ticats. Call it a gain of 1 and a second and 9.
RedBlacks doing a good job just making them earn it. We're going to make you earn it all the way down the field. We're not going to give up a big play. We're going to have to earn everything on this drive.
From the Ottawa 47. On the second and 9. Deep shot. Nearly. For Brendan O'Leary Orange inside the 5. It got turned around a little bit. It was close, but no. And third down coming up here for Hamilton.
Just a bit on the outside. Brendan O'Leary Orange on the one-on-one situation on the outside. And Deidre Lamont just a bit outside for him. Can't make that catch. Good opportunity for the one-on-one on the outside. Just a little bit too far outside.
So on the third down, and Nick Constantino is on to put it away, standing at about the 50. Another one of the punters that's excellent at placing these punts. He had a beautiful one last night that trapped the RedBlacks deep down at their 1. I'm looking for more of that, but it's whistled down before he has a chance to kick it away.
Count violation, Hamilton, number 31. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be 3rd down.
Dennis McKnight, special teams coordinator. Hamilton Tiger-Cats, not a happy man. I spoke to him before. He was a happy man, Rod, because one name, Isaiah Wooden Sr.
Yeah.
He said, hey, it helps our special teams. I have a lot of anxiety as a special teams coordinator, more so. He's also an offensive line coach by trade. He said special teams coordinator, a lot of anxiety, but Isaiah Wooden calms me down.
Gives other special teams coordinators anxiety, however. The way it works, so many good returners in the league, so they're pushed back. And this one is a lower one, and off the hop as it rolls, takes another roll down inside the 5 for Constantino and Pimpleton. And looks like he stepped out of bounds. Lapo's foot was out of bounds.
And you can see the respect that this team has for Pimpleton. Pimpleton, they kicked it what's called a cross-field kick. Kick it all the way across the field, make Pimpleton run across the field and pick it up on the ground.
So the RedBlacks have the ball back, trailing by a point, but deep in their zone. Another big free agent signing in the offseason for the RedBlacks was Gino Lewis, and he is their leading receiver coming into this game, Lapo.
Yeah, the biggest thing I want to see from Eugene Lewis, he was brought into this organization to help them with their big plays and get shots downfield. And that's certainly got to improve, but he's trended up, and they're getting a lot of first downs with him, but they need more explosive plays, as we talked about last in the CFL.
So on the ground now for Dustin Crum, takes the handoff, keeps it himself, and he works it out to about the 10. By nature, a running quarterback. We saw that a lot in his first year in 2023 when he was thrown into the fire, and he ended up starting half of the season after all the quarterback injuries suffered by the RedBlacks that year.
Pretty good situational football in this game. Hamilton Tiger-Cats, they did not get any points on the last drive, but they drove the length of the field and they punted and put the RedBlacks inside the 10-yard line. This is a long way to go for this RedBlacks offense to get any points on the board.
Already approaching the halfway point of this third quarter. Ottawa down 1, and on that 2nd and 3, nothing. Be a 3rd down coming up. See, Miles Fox is in there. The Ticat defense will stop the run. Mario Kendricks too. And the punting unit will come on, and Richie Leone will stand in his end zone to get this one away.
Good stop. Again, you talk situational football, you get a 2 and out. Now when this punt happens, you're going to be almost in field goal range right away with Isaiah Wooden.
And they do have Wooden, who is just standing and waiting for this one at the Hamilton 51. Finds a little opening, dances around to get a little bit more before he is tackled there by James Peter. Up approaching midfield, about the 52 for the Ticats. 1-point lead. Bo Levi Mitchell heading on again. The RedBlacks had a long losing drought to the Hamilton Tiger-Cats until last year, and then things changed. They won both of their games at home. There's a touchdown toss from Brown to Justin Hardy, and it ended up coming down to a field goal at the end in the first one back in Canada Day weekend when they won. And they won again later in the season. And there's Brown now off on the sidelines. His night is done after taking that hit to the head from Deshaun Amos in the first half. He got injured in Saskatchewan in the opener, and he missed 3 starts, and now he is out again in favor of Dustin Crum after that injury. Bo Levi Mitchell on now. Pressure coming quickly. Michael Wakefield just had an open door, and he walked right through it. Right at the quarterback to take him down, and another sack for Michael Wakefield.
A little bit of a problem with the protection here. Michael Wakefield just beats inside, just slides inside as they slide out for 2 people off the edge. The center didn't slide with him. Miscommunication up front allows Wakefield to get through there. Nothing a quarterback's going to be able to do when you get a rusher through that A-gap uncontested. So miscommunication hurt the Ticats there.
He was right on him, Lapo. 2nd sack of the season. Wakefield, so 2nd down and long. 18 yards to go. Running around. Chuck it in deep. Open receiver to Keandre Smith. He got in behind coverage, and he had has that ball down inside the Ottawa 5 for a 1st and goal, Hamilton.
One of the best things that Bo Levi Mitchell has done in his career is climb the pocket and find the deepest player on the route. As he sees that this is going to be, as he climbs the pocket to find a throw, he's looking, he's like, I know I have a post, I can get behind the defense. So his ability to use his legs, but think about throwing the ball, not running, is one of the best I've seen in the last 10, 15 years in the Canadian Football League. Always looking for that deep shot.
63 yards, Mitchell to Keandre Smith, setting up Hamilton, threatening again. 1st and goal from the Ottawa 3. Treshaun Ward is the running back. Handing off to him, 3-2-1, touchdown, Ticats. Hamilton reaches the end zone again, and it is Treshaun Ward getting it, and his first touchdown to extend the Tiger Cats lead.
RedBlacks continuing to give up big plays. That's a 30-plus play. Tied for last in the CFL. That's their 14th this season of over 30-plus pass plays. Puts the ball at the 3-yard line. You're going to get a lot of these when the ball's at the 3. Ward in for the quick touchdown.
In his first year at a Kansas State, Treshaun Ward, mentioned just like with Augustine, getting more touches, more chances with the injury to Greg Bell. So they had one through the air. Kenny Lawler at that in the first half. They get one on the ground here after that big play. Bo Levi Mitchell to Keandre Smith that set him up for this. The touchdown, the point after from Mark Leggio. And suddenly a close game opens up again. Touchdown Ticats, Treshaun Ward, and a 20-12 lead. Gets his first. Hamilton up top.
On 2nd and 18, the Ticats strike a dagger into this RedBlacks defense. Take a look. You have an outside rusher on both these spots. This is what you call a pass rushing front. But there's nobody in the middle of the field. Watch what happens as Bo climbs the pocket. He's looking downfield. You can see it. I'm going to take the shot behind the defense. Like I said before, this is one of the best guys in the history of the CFL of finding the downfield throws and taking the explosive plays. But the best part of it, used his legs to climb the pocket to buy time.
Keandre Smith getting in behind the 2 corners, making their starts tonight with all the injuries in the secondary, and Elijah McGee and DeAndre Lamont. So there's Bo Levi Mitchell looking things over after getting his passing numbers up to just under 200 now for the night, and one big one to Keandre Smith. He's 12 for 20, 199. The one touchdown pass was to Kenny Lawler. They capped off that big one to Smith with the run by Treshaun Ward. And Mitchell, 10th all-time, we can say now. An interesting year for milestones, too. He had this one tonight. He also recently moved into the 40,000-yard club and also over 100 wins earlier this season in his career. And that one, it's Ray Wilborn, who's coming in right on the catch there by Justin Hardy on that first down play. 2nd and long coming up.
Nice catch by Hardy. Really very consistent underneath receiver for this offense.
Getting it up to the 35.
A little bit of no huddle here by Dustin Crum and Tommy Condell's offense, so they're trying to conserve some time or just trying to change up some things, give them simpler pictures.
2nd and 7 for Dustin Crum, throwing quickly on the out and close to a first down. It's Hardy trying to reach across to make sure he had enough. Very close. It looks like it'll be a 3rd and short coming up here for Ottawa. Offense staying on the field.
Quick throws, easy pictures for the quarterback. Hardy in a one-on-one situation on a speed out cut. You got to locate this, and he does. Gives it a chance for Hardy. Hardy's got great concentration, sees the ball into his hands, puts it right close to the first down for, I think they're going to measure this. We'll take a look.
They still haven't put the ball down, and now, right, looks like it's going to ascertain where exactly it should go.
A lot of standing around.
Yeah.
It's not rocket scientist, Ron. Let's go. Let's bring the sticks out, take a look, or what are we doing here?
Are you giving Ben Major advice? It's like you're still a coach now.
I'm yelling at Ben Major.
Give me the first down. You're right in the sideline now. What do you say?
Let's go. Let's go. We want to call a play.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time here. I'm sure the command center, sorry, the replay center.
Replay center?
The replay center has taken a look to make sure the spot's at the right area. They can assist with this. And we'll get a measurement here.
You saw Bob Dice, and frustrated, very frustrated for another reason, as you heard him talk to Claire Hanna, and just short here for the RedBlacks, just inches to go on this third down. But he mentioned to Claire at the end of his interview, unsolicited too, that, you know, can't believe we're trying to protect the quarterbacks, that wasn't an ejection of Deshaun Amos, the one who came in and made that hit. And Brown is out. Saw him earlier. Dustin Crum in again in relief, as he did last year a couple of times. And frustration for Drew Brown, second time injured and out this season. And
it's not, yeah. There are times you talk about we just certainly have to protect the quarterbacks. We did, you know, year after year there's changes. Rule committees always come in to make sure they're doing things to make sure to protect the quarterbacks. We've got to make sure.
Well, I know you know his frustration. I remember being at that game in Regina 3 years ago when Garrett Marino hit Jeremiah Masoli, and I remember seeing how frustrated you were.
Yep.
And losing your quarterback. So short yardage, something that Crum is used to. A few inches. Looks like he has enough of it, but now a flag does come out, though. Ticats thinking this should be against Ottawa. And yeah, the punting unit coming on now. Richie Leone for the RedBlacks.
So the replay center is probably
procedure. Ottawa, number 83. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be third down.
There's Khalil Pimpleton, the movement there up along the line, and that 3rd and inches, and that is costly. So they can't go for it now. Richie Leone is on at about the 22 to kick this one away to Isaiah Wooden. So that really kills the RedBlacks to stall this drive.
And that's what we talked about last week. There are a couple of critical errors at critical times. That's a critical error. That's a preventable penalty that's hurting the RedBlacks.
Ticats got a lot of pressure in Leone too. He does get it away to Wooden. Moving around, goes short side, and he gets it up across the 30 after a 50-yard punt by Leone. Hamilton, still a one-score game, but in charge right now with the ball, leading at 20-12. Keelan White, what a story for this rookie so far in Ottawa, and his inspiration too. Let's go back to Claire.
Well, Keelan White's CFL dream has been years in the making, and as a receiver who grew up in Vancouver, he remembers attending a BC Lions Fan Fest day when he was about 6 years old. His favorite player was 3-time Grey Cup champion Geroy Simon, and Geroy said, "Hey, let me throw you some go routes." Well, White was so young, he kept dropping the ball, but Geroy insisted they keep going until White finally caught a ball in the end zone, and that moment really inspired White. And 10 years later, Geroy actually coached White at Campson High School. Now, White, you might notice, was assigned the number 81 at training camp. That happens to be the same number as Geroy. Is it fate? Who knows, but he kept it. But now 15 years later, after that first catch at FanFest, White says scoring his first CFL touchdown last week is one of the biggest moments of his career. Guys.
Oh, it's a great story, Claire, and you're right. We thought maybe there's something to that, just coincidence, I guess, but very fitting that Keelan White wears 81 like Geroy Simon did. Levi Mitchell just getting that one away.
You saw Jarius Jackson in that first picture. It was Jarius Jackson. Jay Prepchek, who does a lot of quarterback training out in Vancouver, was running that camp.
And Paris Jackson, also former Lions receiver, had been working along with Geroy Simon and helping out Keelan White many years ago, back in his high school days.
Bo didn't force anything on this last pass play. He's trying to throw it up on the inside. Didn't like the picture, threw it away. This is the difference of Bo Levi Mitchell in his second year with Scott Milanovic, not taking those shot plays, trusting his arm. He's throwing it away when plays aren't done.
Hamilton up the score. Pressure coming on Mitchell. He gets rid of it to the left. It's caught. Tim White turns around. He gets away from DeAndre Lamont, and Bennett Williams finally pushes him out. And that is just across midfield, too. And another big first down for Mitchell and the Ticats. Gain of 25 more yards.
Level route, you'll have a player going vertical on a go route. You'll have a player coming in on an in route. What do you call that? Go in? Call it gin, Rod. Okay, easy throw for it. Take a look. See, as everybody lifts, I can throw the ball underneath on the dig route. Good throw, good timing, good catch by Tim White.
Okay, we got Shark, we got Whale, we got Gin. I'm taking notes.
What else?
I'm taking notes,
Let's
Lapo.
go.
Johnny Augustine. No, you got broke one tackle, not the second. That's Lucas Cormier who got elevated to get the start at will linebacker on the weak side who makes that tackle. Product of Mount Allison University.
RedBlacks defense, good stop there. Creating a second and long situation. Only a 3-yard gain for Johnny Augustine on this inside zone play. Another RedBlack down.
Had a few injuries, of course, very notably Drew Brown. And Cleon Lang got hurt earlier, and his night is done too, by the way. Failed to mention that. And Lorenzo Malden was, but went out. And another defensive lineman with Cleon Lang out, the rookie, Mufta Ajeli, took his place, defensive tackle, coming in on the inside, and he is getting some attention right now. So it's been a rough night for the RedBlacks along the defensive front.
Lucas Cormier, number 19, you just saw on your screen, seems to be doing a very good job getting the start at will linebacker. Frankie Griffin's been injured last couple of weeks.
And Mufta Ajeli drafted in the 4th round, 33rd overall out of Northwest Oklahoma State, but played at Windsor before then. And Daniel Apoko back in. He went in earlier to sub in for Lorenzo Malden. He rotates in, and with the injury now to Ajeli, who's in there for Cleon Lang. Apoko back in this game. Late 3rd quarter. Ottawa 52 of the Hamilton Tiger Cats with an 8-point lead and a 2nd and 8 for Bo Levi Mitchell. He will throw again and quickly away for the first down marker. He has got it to Tyler Ternowski, product of the University of Waterloo. They love him on special teams to the point that it's hard sometimes to work him in the offense, but he picks up a first down right there for Hamilton.
Right there. On the out cut, throw it to the sideline in versus man coverage. Just throw it away from the defensive back. If you locate the football, should be an easy play.
Gets it after that 9-yard gain to the 43. Come the Ticats again. Pressure on Mitchell, and he's going down. They get another sack of Bo Levi Mitchell. It is Bryce Carter coming in for his 3rd sack of the season, and a big one too at this point on the field. And a 2nd and long coming up here for Hamilton.
Speed kills at the end position. Bryce Carter is going to be here and beat with speed. Quentin Barrow coming across. He's going to win with speed coming across at that spot.
And Lapo, you see the injury to the left
that's
tackle.
Nathan Dumoulin-Duguay. Yes,
so Dumoulin-Duguay there, and Jordan Murray is the one, the starting left tackle, just came back into the Hamilton lineup, and he is hurt and getting attention on the left leg as his helmet comes off. And Dumoulin-Duguay had been listed along with Jacob Zott as backup offensive lineman in this game, and Jordan Murray is still down. Back here in Ottawa, the card is coming out now for the injured left tackle of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Jordan Murray, as his team. Such a tough sight in this game.
Okay, here's another look at this. You can see him. It's just difficult when your foot is in the ground. When your foot's in the ground stationary and then somebody rolls up and hyperextends that knee. Hopefully he'll be okay.
And all of his teammates now coming on the field. They've all left the sideline as Jordan Murray is going to be taken off on a cart in support of their injured teammate now. Just a tough sight, and especially you think about this player too. He has suffered through some injuries earlier this season as well, and needs some help to get on the cart. And RedBlacks fans joining in on their support as well. In his third year with the Hamilton Tiger Cats out of North Texas, Jordan Murray. Understandably frustrated look as this team is trying to get another win after a tough start. When Murray was out of the lineup, they started at 0-2, and if they can make it 4 straight wins tonight, here's how it stands right now. They are trying to join Montreal again, and with that record, 3-2 coming in after 3 straight wins. Ottawa really they had a winning record last year, and they got a playoff spot, really showing signs of turning it around. But right now tied with the Argos, who they've lost to also a few weeks ago, Lapo, right now with just the 1 victory.
Yeah, if you remember last year, Ottawa had the best home record in the Canadian Football League, and certainly only down 8, so there's a lot of time left in this football. Hoping Jordan Murray is going to be okay. Yeah. He's a big reason why this team is one of the best in the CFL. They're second best in sacks allowed. Hoping he'll be okay.
As he is taken off the cart. Late now in the third quarter, Hamilton football. It's a second down and long after the sack by Bryce Carter on Bo Levi Mitchell. And a big second down for both teams right now. Just in the Ottawa zone. Empty backfield. Mitchell deep over the middle and knocked away at the last second by Amari Henderson, coming in there on Kenny Lawler, who looked to be open. Henderson in his first year in the secondary of the RedBlacks with a big defensive play to force a 3rd and long.
Spread the backfield out and then try to hit somebody down the middle of the field, but Amari Henderson has enough depth to move inside. He's deep enough that he can make a play on the ball. There is a seam. See, the middle of the field wide open, but the ball's in the air too long. Great instincts and great speed by Henderson coming down to make that knockdown to prevent the big play on the inside throw.
On Treshawn Ward, not Lawler there. And it'll force him to punt. And there's an onside player, too. Watch that as it is punted away here by Constantino with a player onside. Coverage down and into the end zone. And it is barely out of the end zone on that return. And that is a newcomer to the Ottawa RedBlacks. And instead of giving up the point, brings it out to the one. That's Aesop Winston. And Winston, in his debut with the Ottawa RedBlacks, takes it out of the end zone, so they don't give up the point, but they start in the worst possible place down at the 1.
Once again, they're going to be in a very long field. This does keep it a 1-score game with, they were down 8. But this is a long way to go now for Dustin Crum, their 2nd-string quarterback.
Coming in is Brian Cole. So the thing is, if he didn't, did he get out? Because if he didn't, then they do give up the single, but they'd get to start in much better field position.
And the command center will take a look at this because it could be a scoring player on the 1-yard line.
Rick Campbell back in Ottawa this season. Former head coach, of course, of the BC Lions for several years after he was the original coach of the Ottawa RedBlacks and a Grey Cup champion in 2016. When Bob Dice was his his special teams coordinator, and now reverse roles as Dice was glad to get Rick Campbell back.
Super excited when Rick Campbell was available, and had obviously they're very good friends, and having the ability to have a former head coach on your staff, somebody you could talk a situational football, talk about all those things, somebody who knows Ottawa, had a great experience in Ottawa. So add to the staff.
The replay center, Lapo, having a look, and here's the decision.
Upon automatic review of a potential scoring play, the ruling on the field is maintained. It's 1st down for Ottawa at the 1-yard line.
So they don't give up the point, but I don't know, how do you feel about that? Good news, bad news, and where you're starting in the field.
I mean, you still got plenty. You still got a quarter. You would like the field position, especially Dustin Crum. You got a young quarterback in the game.
I think so. You don't worry
Plenty
about
of time to make up that extra point.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't worry about that point at this stage of the game. Late third quarter, time taking away, and they are deep in their zone. Crump. He's chucking it deep, though. Looking for a big hit there, and it's intercepted. Destin Talbot. Right there, stride for stride in coverage. So, I mean, that's one of those interceptions that's about the same as a punt. But that was a first down play and a deep look. And Talbot has the pick.
Back of the end zone. Sometimes what you try to do is get it out of the end, get it all the way, and flip the field in one play. Talbot does a great job of getting inside position. The ball's a little bit underthrown. It's a long throw downfield. Great position. Talbot makes the play. And again, this team leads the CFL in takeaways. And what do they keep doing? Creating short fields for their offense. Really good play by Talbot there. Now creates a half-field situation for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That's the difference in this game, Rob. There's just been so many opportunities. Ticats on a short field, RedBlacks on a long field.
Well, that's the first interception of the season for Destin Talbot in his coverage on Keelan White. So Hamilton ball again. The other side of midfield. And a running play. They work it down towards the 50, and that's Treshawn Ward, the ball carrier. So Hamilton gets a touchdown. That's the scoring in the third quarter, set up by one big play. Bo Levi Mitchell to Keandre Smith, leading to the Ward touchdown. The Hamilton Tiger Cats looking to win their fourth in a row. 1 quarter still to go, though, and Ottawa trailing it by 8.
Bombers, Argos, the CFL on TSN and CTV.
Through 3 quarters here in the nation's capital, Hamilton leads the Ottawa RedBlacks 20-12. Well, close in some numbers here, Lapo, but still, the Ottawa RedBlacks turnover is really hurting them.
Yeah, early in the first quarter, there was a turnover that led to the Kenny Lawler long touchdown. That was a big play that they can't give up. There's another turnover, creates a short field for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But the other thing that's got to happen when you got Dustin Crum in the game, you got to get the run game going. Only a little bit more than 50 yards rushing. They got to find a way to run the football and try to help create some short yardage situations instead of second and long situations. And if the defense can do anything to help their cause, you don't win a lot of football games when you're -2 in turnover margin. Can this defense get a takeaway from Bo Levi Mitchell's offense?
Comes to that in the final quarter. And of note as well, Eugene Lewis, their top receiver, coming in with a busy day last week in Hamilton. Just 2 targets, 1 catch for 13 yards. I realize a change at quarterback and everything, but that stands out as well.
That can hurt, and it also hurts when you just don't get a lot of first downs. You got to keep getting first downs, and then all the playmakers can touch the football.
It is a 2nd and 8 to start the fourth quarter for the Ticats. Throwing quickly, intercepted! Darius Pickett! They needed a turnover, and they just got one there as Pickett. He stays on his feet to celebrate. He heads into the end zone and does a little tumble. But the main thing is it's Ottawa football. After this interception at Darius Pickett.
He's going to undercut this route. He's going to undercut this route immediately. You'll see him show up in your screen, run underneath it. He baited Bo Levi Mitchell, says, listen, there's an open lane for this slant. Bo didn't see him. Pickett takes it away. Just talked about it, Rod. Let's get a takeaway to help this offense, create a short field, get yourself an opportunity. This is the momentum change the RedBlacks need. Great play by Darius Pickett. You better know where that guy is every play.
Well, that's his first interception of the season. That's his 4th of his career. And timely, as you said, this is what the RedBlack defense needs. What they don't need is another injury, and they do have one back in midfield. Again, Lorenzo Malden is hurt. He was earlier and came back. But the defense celebrating, though, what Pickett just did. When this is still a 1-score game, and they have the ball all the way down to the 24 of the Ticats now to set up Dustin Crum. In his 2nd year with the RedBlacks, after playing in Toronto and with Montreal before that, and yeah, the party starter. Certainly could start a party right now. With the chances now for Ottawa's offense, but you see what he's done in his career.
And we talked about the Hamilton Tiger Cats being tied for first in takeaways with 13. Well, one of the other teams they're tied with is this Ottawa RedBlacks defense. One of the strengths they've done this year defensively is to take the football away. You can see it right there with Pickett getting that great interception. And again, that's the key to winning football games. Can you take the football away, prevent somebody to score? and get yourself in offense positions to score from a short field.
You see, Lorenzo Malden is the injured RedBlack, as mentioned. He's getting some help getting off the field. That's the bad news for the Ottawa defense now. Malden hurt again. You see Matthew Schultz on the right, their backup quarterback, helping him get off. But another tough sight. Some injuries we have seen tonight on both sides. But it's the offense on the field now for Ottawa, and needing something to show for that turnover, to be sure. Down by 8 points. Bo Levi Mitchell.
Going into this game, he was 118 attempts without an interception to start this game. So
the only other one he'd thrown one. That was back in week 2 against Saskatchewan. William Standback on that first down play, trying to work it down to the 20. He just kept grinding and pushing, getting it inside the 20. Second down coming up.
Why you love a big physical back. He takes it he gets tackled at the 1 yard gain, turns it into a 5 yard gain.
He was known for that, especially in Montreal, wasn't he?
Winds it all the way back. Garbutt's there to make the tackle. Good stop by Garbutt, but he can spin off. He's got low center of gravity. Powerful running back.
Well within field goal range, but they got to be thinking touchdown here. 2nd and 5 quickly. It is dropped. They had a chance right at the first down mark. It would have been a first down for the RedBlacks, but it was Justin Hardy that time. Can't hang on, so 3rd down, and Lewis Ward will make his way out again.
Ticats bringing pressure. Dustin Crum throwing right into the pressure. Gets it to Justin Hardy. Just a little bit low, but that's the catch you got to make to keep the sticks moving. Justin Hardy has got to make that catch. Should bring this to a 5-point game, so they finish with a field goal here.
Well, Lewis Ward having a perfect night, but again, they're trading field goals for the touchdown scored by Hamilton. Trying to work their way a little closer, and they do. 5 for 5, Lewis Ward. 20-15 is the score. The Ticats still in front. 13:21 on the clock in this first quarter. But those points set up by this, Adarius Pickett, and he did. There's Bo Levi Mitchell in behind Brandon Revenberg there, and having just thrown the 2nd interception. That's it against 12 touchdown passes this season, picked off by Adarius Pickett. That was just a few moments ago. It led to a RedBlacks field goal that cuts into this lead now 20-15. 5-point difference. 4th quarter, and 13:21 on the clock. Mitchell back to work. On the 1st and 10. From the 40 and off to the right for Keandre Smith, who hauled in a big one, a 63-yarder earlier in this half. That one gets Hamilton a quick first down and a gain of 13 yards.
Beautiful read, beautiful throw out on the sideline here, and then out to the sideline. They're just trying to force a little pick, what's called a pick downfield. Get both DBs to lift, throw to the sideline. Keandre Smith, great concentration to make that catch.
1st and 10. It is caught. Another catch down inside the RedBlack 45. Couple of quick strikes, couple of first downs. Hamilton Tiger Cats on the move.
That's what you want, rhythm on first down. 2 straight plays, 2 straight first downs. Bo using his legs. Defensive ends are going to play more the run against Bo Levi Mitchell, allows him to get outside, then get that throw to Kenny behind the defense.
To the Ottawa 44. And a 1st and 10. Mitchell and the Ticats protecting a 5-point lead. Faking the handoff to Augustine, throwing it off to the left to Tim White. Gets to the 40. Santos Knox putting him down. He gets to the 38-yard line. It's a 2nd and 5 coming up now for the Ticats.
Quick throw behind the line of scrimmage. These are what you call BTLs, and that's why completion's up in 2025. It's the highest season we've ever had. 69% as a lead because of these quick throws to athletic guys behind the line of scrimmage. 6-yard gain on first down.
Augustine back in at running back. Mitchell out of the gun in a 2nd and 5. Quickly left, caught, White is hit immediately by Elijah McGee, but it is another first down by the looks of things. Yes, put down right around the 33, just inside. The Sticks do move again, so an impressive drive here when the Ticats certainly need it.
Well, good rhythm. Sees the underneath throw to Tim White. All he has to do is locate the football. It'll be a first down.
Started at their 40 after the Lewis Ward field goal. They moved down to inside the Red Black 35. 11 minutes on the clock in the fourth quarter. Off to his left again to Augustine. Johnny Augustine gets inside the 30, and then good second effort to get it inside the 25 and close to another Hamilton first down.
Sometimes when you don't get a lot of opportunities with the football, you don't get a lot of chances. You get those chances, you're going to keep breaking tackles. That was a great effort play. You'll see Johnny. A little bit of screen play. You get lineman outfield blocking in space for him. Breaks the first tackle at Cormier and just keeps going. Nothing. Plays like this gets your entire sideline. You can hear the guys screaming on the sideline, cheering Johnny Augustine up. These are effort plays that your entire team can rally around.
Well, so he's got 8 yards receiving, and that was his first catch, and he also has 6:59 on the ground, and Ante Milanovic-Litre coming on as well because of a short yardage situation. It's about a second down and
timeout.
2, and a timeout
Hamilton.
call. Ticats take a timeout at a critical point of this game. Kenny Onyeka coming on for that beleaguered Red Blacks defense with all the injuries that they've suffered up front. Scott Milanovic and his Ticats, they only lead by 5. They're in range to make it an 8-point game again, but it's a second down and 2. They're inside the Ottawa 25. And a touchdown, make it a 2-score game. Mitchell with Augustine in behind him. He takes the ball, needs 5, keeps pushing. Good effort by Augustine, or excuse me, needed 2, so easily got the first down right around the 20. So the Sticks move again for the Ticats.
Second and 2. Just hand it to Augustine. Let it get his shoulders downhill. Put lineman on lineman. Get 4 legs on 2. That means double team the down lineman and let him go.
Just inside the 20. Mitchell shouts out some instructions again up at the line. Looks over the middle, down inside the 5. Giovanni Robinson has it. Another catch for Big 84, close to a touchdown, but as it stands, it's a 1st and goal coming up now for Hamilton.
Big misdirection play. They did this last year for a touchdown. You're going to fake a screen in one direction, to the left, then to the right, and you throw it right down the middle of the field to Robinson. A little bit underthrown, but these are misdirection plays that are so difficult on defense. Get him chasing the left, chasing the right, hit right down the middle of the field to Robinson.
1st and goal, right down at the 1 for Hamilton, looking to make it a 2-score game. Ante Milanovic-Litre in, the short yardage quarterback left side, pushing, touchdown Hamilton. The Ticats and Milanovic-Litre add to the lead in an impressive drive after the other one was snuffed out before it with an interception, and it's Litre with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
Litre's become their short yardage guy. He's done a very good job of just keeping his shoulders going. You always talk to your offensive line, finish with your feet in the end zone. They push it up, gives Litre the opportunity. Don't force either a young quarterback or Bo Levi Mitchell have to do the wedges. Litre's done a really good job at this short yardage quarterback.
Ante Milanovic-Litre, 8 plays, 70 yards. He capped it off. Took almost 5 minutes. He's in his 8th year at Simon Fraser. Started in Calgary, went to Edmonton, played here in Ottawa for a while before moving on to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So it's Leggio with the point after the Litre touchdown. And Hamilton, just what they need as the Red Blacks were getting closer. 2-score game now, 27-15 Cats.
Conflict of assignment and eye distraction. You're going to see a screen over here. Okay, let's run that, guys. Watch the screen. Watch both. Fake to the screen, and we're going to pause it right now again. And there's also a screen over here he's faking. He's fake too, but it's moving everybody laterally so you can throw that ball in the middle of the field. Giovanni Robinson makes the play, so really good eye distraction. Conflict assignment forced on the RedBlacks defense by the Tiger Cats offense.
So now the RedBlacks in a hole with Khalil Pimpleton taking it out to about the 27. Giovanni Robinson, a big target too. Once played pro basketball in Italy, was late to the game of football. Houston Texans liked his numbers so much in testing that they offered him a contract and moved around a bit, but found a home here in Hamilton. So the second half, look at the first down numbers. Hamilton has 13, Ottawa just 1, and they're in a 12-point hole right now.
Yeah, Giovanni Robinson has done, like you can see when we talked to Scott Milanovic this week, we asked him about using Giovanni Robinson. Lee Trey, you're using a lot of tight ends or extra offensive linemen. He says, yeah, it minimizes how many coverages we're going to see. It also helps our run game. It's a big part of what this Ticats offense has done this year.
From the Ottawa 28, here's Dustin Crum. Heat is on. He escapes. He takes off. Ray Wilburn grabs a hold of him and puts him down across the 35 for Crum. Still shy of a first down. Second and short coming up.
So for Crum here, these are good reps for him to show that he can sit in the pocket and throw. We know he's got this ability when stuff breaks down. He doesn't like the pictures. Right there, Dino Boyd gets beat. He's able to take off and run. Can he sit in the pocket, deliver a throw when everybody in the stadium knows you got to sit in the pocket and throw the football?
He didn't make a start last year, but he did step in for Drew Brown a few times when Brown got hurt. Did earlier this season. Started a lot in his rookie year back in 23. On the ground and breaking through. Daniel Adebaboye. Still going. Stavros Katsantonis takes Adebaboye down, but not until he gets inside the Hamilton 40.
We talked about getting some big plays here. Nice and easy. Roll it. Guys, just real quick, wind it all the way back across the defense. As defenses overplay that zone play, he winds it all the way back, bounce it. We talked about explosive plays. There's a big one by Adebaboye.
Well, they needed that. He had a 52-yard run in Calgary. That was his best game as a Red Black and their only victory back in week 3. That's in behind the line. Double pass. Hardy takes it, throws it down for Gino Lewis. It is intercepted. Destin Talbert, another pick, his second of the night, as it was put in behind for Hardy and was looking for Gino Lewis, but it does not work out, and there's your turnover score again. Another one going against the Red Blacks.
Had an open player, just a little bit underthrown. Hats off to Talbert. Didn't get caught up with the distraction. They're faking a screen here. Good blocking on the perimeter, just a little bit underthrown. Gino Lewis was open as he's trying to recover for the short football. Can't get it, and Talbert's right there to make the play to ensure the interception. So, hey, a little bit of...
Yeah, you know what that's all about.
Right.
Yeah, Peters had his 2 picks last week in the same game, and now...
tied it up.
The guy beside him, Destin Talbert, gets his second interception. Johnny Augustine faking to him, and Bo throws and completes another big one across the 40. Mitchell to Keaton Brugling back here in Ottawa. He went to Carleton University, was drafted by the Red Blacks in 2022. He's from St. Catharines, so back closer to home, playing for the Ticats. Brugling has the catch, a 30-yarder.
You'll see him down here at the bottom of your screen releasing upfield. Again, playing a tight end. Gets behind the defense as the defense is playing the underneath routes. Keaton's big body, good athletic player. Played some special teams here for the Red Blacks, developing as a receiver.
His first catch with the Ticats. One goes for 30 in his 4th year out of the Carleton Ravens program here in Ottawa. Hamilton. The ball again, Johnny Augustine, who's the ball carrier. Nothing doing there, but start watching the clock now for the Red Blacks, getting closer to 5 minutes away, and it's a 12-point lead. Milanovic's Ticats with the ball.
See, Brendan Revenberg had slitten out to tackle. You can see him as he's trying to get plays via emergency tackle. Good opportunities for him to play some tackle right now.
Injury to Jordan Murray taken off on a card earlier this half. Pump fake. Deep look. And that one nearly picked up. DeAndre Lamont lost his footing. He was closer to the ball than Tim White, but just got tripped up, and it falls incomplete.
Just a throw all the way on the outside. You can see here, I'll highlight right there, that's the throw. Trying to get a double move. Nice safe throw it all the way out to the sideline. I think both thought this Tim White was going to outside release on this throw. And you can see he's got his hands up there, his palms upping, and saying, hey, what's going on, man? You're supposed to go outside, I think. I don't want to speak for Bo, but I think that's what he's talking about. Not on the same page.
He's thrown for 297 yards on the night, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So 3 shy of a 300-yarder. More importantly for them, though, they try to protect that lead. The defense now, that's a little different. So special teams, they get the tackle, so up to the defense now to keep Ottawa from getting any closer. 12-point game. Happy Ticats fans in the stands in Ottawa looking to sweep this home and home. Scott Milanovich, head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He and his team, of course, thinking always of their general manager, Ted Gavaya, who's battling cancer and in a difficult battle right now, and made some significant moves to help this team in his first year coming over from Winnipeg. And that guitar sticker there on the helmet's a tribute to Ted Gavaya, one of his passions. We're all thinking of Ted. Hamilton Tiger Cats up by 12. The Ottawa 34 is Dustin Crum, and off to the left, defended there by Deshaun Amos on Keelan White, and that's incomplete. Second down ahead.
Deshaun Amos has got great ball skills, and what you want, the field halfback, the guy plays to the wide side of the field. They've got to have long range and run, and when they can run down balls in the air. You see the ball's located very well, but he has the speed to close and throw his hand up and knock that down. Excellent play on the wide side field by Deshaun Amos.
Bob Dice heard him earlier at halftime, thought that Amos should have been ejected from the game for the hit on Drew Brown in the first half. Crum takes off under the heat, tracked down, taken down, and that's another first-year Ticat. That's Kyler Fisher in at linebacker for Hamilton, and stops Crum there. After 4.
You would think Ottawa is getting ready to go here for this. They have to, with 3 minutes left, they're going to have to go try to get this first down. 3rd and 7.
Offense stays out. 3-down football right now. They got to go. Down 2 scores, 3 minutes, and the warning coming up. 3rd down and 6. Trying to avoid another turnover. The throw knocked away and nearly intercepted. It's a turnover anyway on downs as that Hamilton defense steps up again. Jonathan Moxey in there.
Reggie Stubblefield
too. And it'll be a Hamilton football. Stubblefield in his 2nd game now as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They had to go on 3rd. Reggie Stubblefield knocking it away.
We talked about the Ticats are leading the Canadian, tied for first in Canadian Football League in takeaways. Destin Talbot saying, hey, I saw some other teams this week get some takeaways. I got to keep matching plays with everybody else in the league that's getting the takeaways. There, right here. There's my 2. I got my 2. Jamal Peters, where are yours? So, excellent night. So again, the more and more you get around this defense of the Ticats, they're a difficult team to throw the football against. They have not given up a touchdown over 20 yards this season. They've gotten 8 interceptions on explosive plays, on like 20-plus pass plays this season.
Peters leading the way, Lapo. Jamal Peters with 3 after his 2 last week. That's Augustine on the run again, and 8 more yards as they look to grind it out and finish this thing off, up 27-15. But no, you're right. And we saw Calgary was a turnover machine in terms of takeaways with 4 interceptions against Winnipeg the other night, including Damon Webb for another pick 6. But you're right. Stampeders stepping up defensively. Hamilton Tiger Cats certainly have, especially over the last few weeks. So 2nd and 2. And time is running out in the Ottawa RedBlacks on this night. Back to the ground. 1st down and more. Augustine again inside the 25. Drive continues. Barely 2 minutes on the clock now in the 4th quarter.
You can see the Ticats holding the ball. They're going to be at the line of scrimmage. They're going to hold this, run the clock all the way down before they snap it. They're in situational football you like to call turtle, Rod. You're in your turtle system. We've had everything tonight, right? Turtle means you're going to go slow with your play calls. Yeah. Trying to make sure the players can
say, how many references to animals? The animal kingdom do you have?
Cheetah, shark, whale.
There you go. Well, you're shark and
dolphin.
Whale. You got me all over that. So now turtle. Turtle I can relate to better. Slowing things down. I like to do that. Well, Lorenzo Malden in there on the tackle, so good to see he's okay. He left this game twice with injuries and seems to be just fine. Late in this game, barely a minute and a half to go now.
Lorenzo Malden's a very tough physical football player, and he leaves games a lot. Why? Because he's such a physical football, plays the game physical. And I remember talking to GM Sean Burke about him, and he's like, hey, listen, what'll happen is he's going to get hurt, and then after he gets hurt, like, he'll be ready to play the next week, but he may take a day or two off. But it's just a physical presence. Originally started with the Ticats.
Absolutely. Another former cat. We just saw the cat there. You got anything for Tigers? Right?
2 tailbacks, Tiger.
There you go. Okay, handing off now to this running back, Johnny Augustine, who, like a Tiger tonight, and lots of extra effort and showing some strength there, too, as he works that way down to about the 18, 17.
Timeout, Ottawa.
So it should be a good response for Scott Milanovic, right? Another win after starting 0-2, putting themselves in a good position.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's really tough on Bob Dice right now as they look at going 1-6. But for Milanovic, last year, his first taking over as head coach of this team, it was another bad start. They did eventually turn it around, but they dug themselves such a hole, and he wanted to avoid that again. And they lost their first 2. They lost in Calgary, then they lost at home, a very close one against Saskatchewan. And since then, they're only going to go into 4-2 right now. As mentioned last week, first time over 500, Lapo, since the end of the 2021 season. There's Mark Leggio.
He had to make a lot of change last year. He released a special teams coordinator early in the season, within the first 3 games. Released his defensive coordinator, brought in Chris Jones. So they had to get the right people on the bus that he wanted to do what he wanted to do, and it's paying off now.
Mark Leggio, another field goal, so he's 3 for 3 on the night, and 30 straight field goals and 30 attempts going back to last year for Leggio. And what a night for Bo Levi Mitchell, ultimately. Well, some big stuff happening early on in this one. Needed 27 yards to pass Tracy Ham on the all-time list to go into the top 10, and did that fittingly on a touchdown pass to Kenny Lawler that got them off to a great start. So Bo Levi Mitchell, top 10 all-time passing yards, still going. We're still going, too, in Week 8. We've hit 1/3 of the way through the season, continuing Thursday Night Football. Well, isn't that interesting? Owl Stampeders, the way Calgary's looking right now at the top of the league standings, and Saskatchewan Roughriders. Edmonton coming off the bye. The Riders matching the Stamps at 5-1. And you got Winnipeg and the Argos. And that's after Zach Collaros took that hit and Chris Grevler came on the other night against the Stamps. And these Ticats off to face the BC Lions in Vancouver. For Bob Dice, a bye with the Stampeders coming in after that. So it is looking very difficult now for the Ottawa RedBlacks, who are staring 1-6 start in the face right now.
Well, the bye week gives them a chance to make sure they evaluate Drew Brown, get him healthy, get him back. And for them to make a run, I think they need to get him back on task. So the bye should be good to get him some treatment and see where he's at.
So 1:09 on the clock, so late in this game, there'll be a kickoff after the field goal. 15-point difference. Drew Brown, what a frustrating night. The hit he took, been out ever since. You know, a high hit coming in helmet to helmet from Deshaun Amos, but the second time he is injured this season. He's missed 3 starts already. 30-15. 1:09 on the clock. Khalil Pimpleton on the return, and he goes down around the 37, a little across the 35. Dustin Crum in again, and that break for Drew Brown. At least they head into the bye. See what happens in that span with Crum filling out in this game. And here's a look at that injury again, Lapo. Deshaun Amos coming in.
Yeah, it's a hit you do not want to see in any situation, any player. I don't care if it's a quarterback or receiver. You just don't want to see a player hit in the helmet, in the head, on a head-to-head contact.
Crum. That one's complete down to Boboye up across the 40. A short pass, and under a minute now, 56 seconds on the clock. This organization made great strides last year, finishing up after an excellent start at 9-8-1 and a playoff appearance against the Argos in Toronto. But it's been a step back so far this season. Said looking at a 1-6 start. From that's caught. Turning it up is Andre Miller. They're just running out of time. 37 seconds to go now.
And understandably, when your starting quarterbacks miss close to half your games, it's going to be difficult.
I said that's something. I mean, let's face it, something that you can certainly relate to in this town with what you went through.
Yes, and my time in Ottawa, losing multiple quarterbacks in both seasons as the head coach. It's just hard to win. You can see that happen in Calgary last year. They struggled at the quarterback position.
This quarterback, Dustin Crum, still keeps his feet and has a pickup of close to another first down, but just plays that are finishing up this game. It's done. 17 seconds on the clock, a 15-point difference as the Ticats are going to go to 4-2 after an 0-2 start, and the RedBlacks looking at falling to 0-3 at home, where they were 7-1-1 a year ago. That was another part of it. Looked like a great turnaround for Ottawa last season, only losing once last year at home, and also within the division, and this hurts too for Ottawa. Hamilton's very good in its division right now. They've beaten Montreal, they've beaten Toronto, and looking at beating the RedBlacks twice, 4-0 in the division. Just the opposite story out of Boboye, out of bounds. Just the opposite, though, Lapo, for the RedBlacks, who have lost to the other Eastern teams and twice to Hamilton. So here we go in the East with Hamilton winning this one. A tie and technically first over the Alouettes just because of the head-to-head. They beat Montreal. And the Argos at 1-5. And the RedBlacks falling to 1-6 and last in the division. A tough one for Bob Dice in a few ways. Of course, the health of his quarterback, the concern as well. And congratulations to Bo Levi Mitchell. Now 10th overall in the CFL, passing Tracy Ham and passing yards. That one falling incomplete. Katsantonis looking for a pick in the final play of the game. Mitchell, top 10. Milanovic and the Ticats tied at the top of the East, Lapo.
Yeah, I think the bye week will be good for Ottawa. They're going to have to evaluate the status of their quarterback and then continue to try to build to get him healthy as they can, to get him back to make a push down the stretch.
Hamilton Tiger Cats are on a roll. They've won 4 in a row, and they've got the BC Lions next week in Vancouver. The Ottawa RedBlacks, they get a break. They need a reset. They're heading into their first bye of the season. Mitchell, deep ball to Lawler that puts him in the top 10, and there would be more. And that hit on Brown that knocked him out of the game, hoping he's okay. The Ticats tied with the Alouettes. Thank you for watching the CFL on TSN, and have a great night.
Bombers, Argos, the CFL on TSN and CTV.
As we say goodbye to week number 7 in the CFL, we say hello to SportsCenter. Jermaine Franklin, Laura Dyken here with you. The Ticats just keep on rolling. Started the season 0-2, have now won 4 in a row and sweep this home-and-home with the RedBlacks. And for Ottawa, things going in the opposite direction. Just 1 win so far on the season.
It is so tough for the RedBlacks because the one thing you need in the CFL is strong quarterback position. And if you can't keep your quarterbacks healthy, you're going to be in trouble, and that's exactly where the RedBlacks are. Desperate for a second win, but they simply did not get that today. So.
Ticats, no problem with their quarterback, that's right.
And Kenny Lawler have connected for 7 touchdowns in 5 games. Pick it up, 3-zip Hamilton in the first quarter.
2nd and 5 now. Another 5 yards in the passing total. Well, this would certainly get him into the top 10. Touchdown, you know who? Kenny Lawler. He does it again. And for Bo Levi Mitchell, that puts him into the top 10 all-time in CFL passing yardage.
We talked about it this week.
Mitchell and Lawler combined for their 8th touchdown of the season. The Ticats looking for a 4th straight win. They're up 10-0. Meantime, the RedBlacks just 1-5 to start the season. 2nd quarter, Drew Brown gets crushed by Deshaun Amos. Huge hit. Amos called for roughing the passer. I guess so. Brown left and did not return. RedBlacks coach Bob Dice had some thoughts.
Off the edge.
And I would like to say, I don't know, we say we're going to protect quarterbacks, but I don't know how that's not an ejection.
Thank you.
He has a point. Bob Dice not happy. Let's go to the 3rd quarter. Hamilton up 13-12. The rain coming down. Mitchell finds Keandre Smith behind the coverage. Good for 63 yards. On the very next play, Trayshawn Ward punches it in. That stretches the Ticats lead to 8. Meantime, Dustin Crum took over under center for Brown. The RedBlacks pinned deep late in the 3rd quarter. Crum gets picked off by Destin Talbert. Ottawa's 2nd turnover of the game. Let's move to the 4th quarter. The RedBlacks down by 12 with 6 minutes to go. They try a little trickery. Crum to Justin Hardy. He throws it, but Talbert again comes up with a 2nd interception of the game. The Ticats defense shutting down the RedBlacks in Ottawa on Sunday as they take it convincingly. All right, following their Week 2 loss, the Ticats have reeled off, as you said, LD, 4 straight wins. That matches their longest streak over the last 5 seasons. They haven't won 5 straight since 2019. Ottawa is still looking for their first home win of the season. With more, let's go to Kate in the panel.
Alongside Enoch Mwamba, David Sanchez, Milt Stegall, the Ottawa RedBlacks fall to 1-6 on the season. Bob Dice clearly isn't happy about that, but he at halftime clearly wasn't happy about the fact that Deshaun Amos was not tossed from this game after he knocked out Drew Brown, and Drew Brown not returning to this football game as well. They're strong comments, and I think a lot of people looked at the play in slow motion and thought, yeah, you know what, that was pretty serious, and obviously we didn't see Drew Brown again, but the question is do you agree with it? Should Amos been tossed from this one?
I've seen a lot of players get taken out of the game because of hits like that. Yes, he led with his head and, obviously touched the helmet as well. You'd never want to see that kind of play. But Deshaun Amos is the type of player that brings a lot of intensity and the perimeter, and he plays really aggressively. As a former teammate of his, yeah, I've seen the type of player that he is. It wasn't intentional, and you know that. But yes, that was definitely a shot that could potentially have resulted in an ejection. But it is, a decision that a referee has to make. But I'll say this. This team also has to look at the type of protection that they provided for this quarterback. You had an offensive tackle, you had a fullback. I just hope Coach Dice also brings the same energy to the protection.
As you mentioned about Deshaun, there was no malicious intent on that play. He's not that type of guy. Of course, I've never played with him, but we've talked about it. I've talked to him, great guy. But regardless of intent, you have to question, should he have been kicked out? I know it's based on what the referees believe. Kate mentioned to us off air that there may be an opportunity for them to review this play, and he still may get suspended. So there's a lot of gray area with that play. I think there has to be something that's set in stone that if the defender or if someone leaves with their helmet regardless, this is what's going to happen. That's the only way you're going to determine if this is going to be done or not, because I just don't know if there should have been an opportunity for him to be kicked out of the game, because I don't know exactly how the rule is determined.
Professional football, things move fast. There's no way that he should have been ejected for that play. And think of it this, when we're watching that game, we saw it. We weren't even sure if it was a flag at first. We had to go back and say it was a replay before we said, oh, okay, that's a flag. So for that reason, no, he shouldn't be ejected. Guys are moving too fast. The target areas are small. If there's malicious intent, like you guys just said, then it should be ejection. But right there in this game, it's unfortunate because we understand that the product of our game in every football league is because of the quarterbacks. And when the quarterback play deteriorates, so does the game. So we try to protect them, but no, there's no way you should have been ejected.
And either side that you're on of this one, too, it's just not what you want to see. I mean, we need these starting quarterbacks. Yes. We see Drew Brown go down. We saw Zach Collaros go down. We know that Davis Alexander is now on the 6-game injured list. So a tough week for quarterbacks once again in the CFL.
He had 327 yards through the air, plus a touchdown. New on SC, here's Bo Levi Mitchell with our Claire Hanna.
Bo, I feel like there's just milestone after milestone for you this season, okay? In this game, you're now top 10 amongst QBs when it comes to passing yards. Tracy Ham had a shout-out during the broadcast for you. Just what's significant is this moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's special. You know, I've been blessed to play this game for a long time and you know, avoid anything terrible. And you know, when you're an old guy like myself and you've been here this long, sooner or later those numbers are going to come.
When it comes to also receivers in this game, we talk about Kenny Lawler a lot, but Robinson, Keandre Smith had big catches. How is your offense just coming together so well now?
Just continuing to evolve. I mean, the more we build the run game and continue to, you know, force teams to come up, you're going to leave guys one-on-one, and if you leave our guys one-on-one, it's going to be a hard day.
We saw Stavros have a pick. Talbert had 2. How inspired were you by your defense?
I mean, it's just been unreal to watch them this season. The defense has honestly carried us. I know we have a great offense, we have a great special teams, but you know, a huge shout out to Monson, all the scouts that brought in the guys, and the defense the way they're playing. I mean, they really are carrying our football team.
Also, to now just have 4 wins in a row, but also to beat a divisional rival in back-to-back weeks. How important is that for your team?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, anytime you can basically get a 4-point swing in the East, you know, it allows us to really focus on attacking Montreal and continue to try to climb up in the rankings. But just focus on our job, go out there, be 1-0.
Thank you, Bo.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Week 8 in the CFL kicks off on Thursday with the Owls taking on the West leading Stamps. On Friday Night Football, it's Edmonton versus Saskatchewan, and you can see the Blue Bombers, Argos, Ticats, Lions on the weekend.